Welcome back to Métropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's Thursday, November 6th, 2025. It feels like the last stream was weeks ago. It was 1 week ago today that we did a stream. You remember it? It was like Halloweenish. It was nice. It honestly feels like such a long time ago. And I think it's a bunch of different things. I think a lot of things happened in like the card game space. I think I'm mostly talking about FFG stuff at this point. It was a big weekend. My family came over. It was really quite nice. We did a Crash Space stream. It's been a while. How's everyone doing? Also, if you're watching this, you probably know at this point that last weekend was daylight savings time. So we traded an hour of extra sleep for 6 months of darkness. So it might be easier to watch if you're anywhere else, at least for a bit. I think Europe's already done the change, but I can't tell. I'm out of breath. I'm like really out of breath. Give me 1 second. I don't know why. How's everyone doing? Quail. Just had a grueling game of playing LEO in the local card shops league. They scooted in for early jammed agendas with exactly enough credits. Then, when I was just about to score the game-winning agenda, they top decked to snipe the win. Let's go. The LEO matchups are interesting. The ones that only have 7 agendas in them, I find pretty difficult to play against. It's you really have to like pinch that pipe between R&D and HQ to have any chance there. But it is exciting. It's yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we did ours a couple weeks back. Oh, okay, so we're back up to like regular, right? Hey, Aurora. Hi, APAC buddies. How's it going? Good, excited for Vampire Time. Yo, Radish, it is Vampire Time. I noticed the stream at the beginning. Sucks to suck. It is a vampire-themed title. It's nothing really meaningful about it. It might be a bit too much, honestly. But yeah, we're going to be playing the Decklist of the Week, which was finally published on the runner side. This is Zomsraft's runner. Hoshiko wins worlds one more time. It is a really weird list. It has influence spends that I don't fully get. It has a console that I'm not convinced is the console this deck should be playing, but I've been told by everyone it is the case. It is very Mulch-like. It has very little money. It's probably a bit tricky to play, but it looks like it's a lot of fun. Shout out to Council, who actually published this, who I believe is one of the big people behind making this deck. So excited to see it because it's an interesting one for sure. Why am I so out of breath? It's the grid. Hey, Tron, how's it going? SRN Legendary Stream title, thank you. And why so much egg talk? How's it going? Phil, how you doing? Ferret Mouse, how you doing as well? I hate egg. Kika hates egg. Rapa Nui hates egg because we're all eggs. Latent. Well, Andre, with the personal attacks and stream titles. Tom, how's it going? I'm talking about myself. Hopefully you are well. I work graveyards, so the clock rollback just meant my shift was an hour longer. Oh my god, yeah, I guess you get the hour shorter one at some point. Do you get paid for like the extra hour, or do they just say like, nah, it's not real, and then they point to the computer and they say like, show me where the hour is, and you can't do it? That's rough. Yo, John, here for the Vampire Rivals content I've been craving. Wait, what's the Cyberpunk stuff? Do you know the Vampire Rivals Arkham, like the Netrunner DB equivalent? I think it's like it's not Rivals DB, right? It is. It's rivalsdb.app. All right. So if we're playing Vampire today, mind you, Vampire Rivals got discontinued by the nice people at Renegade, I want to say, just earlier this year. I think people are still playing it. It is a not very asymmetric card game where you can play up to 2 to 4 people. You have like an agenda, and you have a haven, and you make a deck. You have a deck of vampires, and you have a library of like some odd cards. Your win condition is actually very different. When you show up, you pick your agenda, and that's how you can win the game. You can always defeat your rival, and your rival is drawn at the beginning of the game. So there's like this kind of, network where this is my rival, that person's someone else's rival. And so like there's the enemy of your friend is your friend's enemy or whatever. So that's kind of cool. This one, you just want to hurt people. So that's not very interesting. Anyways, you can play this game. I've only played it a handful of times. Had a lovely time playing with John. We'll get back to it at some point. Happy to see another Rivals fan. I had some really great Lunar games with the final Prince pack before the group slowly dissolved. Oh, sorry to hear that it dissolved. They did announce it a couple months ago, so this is not like a surprise that this is no longer a thing. And they like liquidated the content. The game's pretty neat. I'd play some more of it. I get paid, yeah. Sucks when the jump forward is on my day off, though. Oh, yeah, that's really bad. I still have way more experience with Vampire the Eternal Struggle. I think a lot of people here in Quebec do. I still have 5th edition, like some starter decks on my shelf that I haven't tried. We should get to at some point. You only get the hour shorter one if you happen to be rostered on... Oh, yeah. How's everyone doing? I am out of breath. It's been a busy week in Netrunner to some extent. It feels like there's a lot of tournaments. It feels like there's a lot of content coming out. I think the Worlds kick is like a real thing, where once you leave Worlds or you watch Worlds or whatever it is, you're just like very excited about this game. And I think there's a lot to be excited about. And I think we're going to start there by just jumping into the deck list of the week. This is Vampire, the 2025 World Champion. Let's talk a bit about this deck. Door is always open, transit is not. Yeah. Today I missed the bus in the morning, the last bus. So I'm like, I guess I'm working from home. Hey, Alec, how you doing? I guess a little story time today in Montreal, or this whole month in Montreal, we're doing an STM strike, or the STM is striking. The STM is the transit authority here in Montreal, so they run the buses and the metro. The metro is what we call the subway here, and they're on strike, and so they can't not like offer service. But what they are doing is they're running service only at 3 different times a day. They run service between like I want to say 6 in the morning, I think, to like 9:15. They run service between like 4 and 6 in the evening, and then 11 p.m. past. And if you're trying to take a bus or a metro, or you're trying to go anywhere outside of those times, get fucked. Like you can't do it. It doesn't exist. And it's been really quite bad, obviously, for a lot of different reasons. Because everyone has to like go on public transport at the same times. It's really, really, really crowded. It's also getting to the part where it's getting colder and rainier, so people want to get on the metro, but like you're queuing up, you're like not getting on your train, and people are getting really stressed because they know if they don't get on the next one, they won't make it to work. Businesses are not getting good traffic anymore because like people are not just going out the way they would. We have so many things that are just canceled. Like we were meant to have a GNK on Tuesday next week, a really cool GNK that Colin was organizing. He had some really good prize support for it. But at the end of the day, it's like when the GNK ends at 9 o'clock at the local game store, you can't get home. So the only way you can get home is like an Uber, except everyone's now taking Ubers if they have to. So the prices have gone up all over the place. Maddie and I, we sometimes use like a car rental system, like a car share, except you can't get a car share because obviously now everyone needs a car share because there's no metro, especially outside of those hours. So it's impossible to get a car share. And so everything's collapsing really bad. Like if you have to go to work outside of those hours, if you don't work a 9 to 5 or you work 11 till 5 or whatever, the whole city is, it's kind of a mess. It's really, really quite bad. And it's meant to last like that the whole month. So it's a bit of a bummer, that's for sure. Got home on Friday, but been sick since standard day 1. Oh, hopefully you're feeling better, and hopefully you had a good enough trip. I know you're seeing family up there. Hopefully you had a good time and weren't too sick. I'm considering figuring out a 5-hour travel across the UK, leaving home at 5 a.m. to go to a tournament on Sunday. The post-Worlds kick is real. Yo, that is real. You'd leave right after, I guess. Yeah, maybe you can do it. I don't know. That's one of the big things I missed from Netrunner for a while now is like going out and traveling to tournaments. Like we would drive down to Toronto or Ottawa all the time. This year it's been a bit softer on travel on our side. Not 100% sure why, but it's like one of the nicest things for sure. Dabs' Essa got posted as well. Def worth a look. Yeah, for sure, Jai. I think we're gonna give that one a shot too. It's a list that like I think I was talking to Pat about it. Mind you, Pat was meant to be here today. He's feeling a bit under the weather, so wish him well. But I had no idea this deck was running a Hippocampic Mechanocytes. During Worlds, I never got to commentate this side of the matchup, so I never got to see the ESSA deck. And it's interesting. I got to listen to the discussion because Davs was on the King's Court podcast, which you can find on Axu Netrunner, talking about the list. And I think Davs has some really cool things to say about it. I think I'm not a huge ESSA enjoyer, and I don't know if I would be exactly on the King's camp, but I'm somewhere towards that direction. And hearing Davs talk about this list and talk about how it's like a sort of like a mid-range control deck, because I think the majority of people I play, and I think a lot of this is like Diogen, plays ESSA like super hyper aggro. And so I see ESSA as like a high aggro mill deck that just like attacks you on all 3 servers. It's like, can you block the Chastushka? Can you block the Finality? Can you block Archives? While at the same time having your game plan. And then your ices, or some portion of your ice suite, it gets invalidated entirely. And I don't think I love that matchup for that reason. But I imagine the way that this was played, Davs is playing it. And mind you, ESSA was like numerically one of the strongest runners at Worlds this year. There's definitely something to learn there. And I do not think that Davs plays it that sort of like Hail Mary all the time. Like we're on 2 Chastushka, we're on 2 Finality, which you don't always see. Oh, Ghost Dung Marrow is all there. The Nuka is super, super important. And then, of course, we're now on Matryoshka. We're only on 5, which I think is a really cute thing because you don't need to break all the ice in the game. But this is the sort of deck that was looking kind of strange. It was one of the sort of decks that was looking a bit softer after the banning of, what's it called, of Banhar. 3 Wildcat Strike is also really weird. I think we've seen a couple decks are playing Wildcat. Except for President, there's Diogen. How are you doing? For everyone who got a Ken Hog sticker with the birthday hat, those were made because standard day 1 was my birthday. You didn't say that. I had no idea. Happy birthday. I know I got 2 nice Ken Hogs from you, and one had a hat and one had the like Scottish cap, and I did not ask what the hat was for. Hopefully you had a good one. That's really nice. Speaking of tournaments, any tips for a first time TO? Mega City application looks mighty tempting. Ooh, backtrack. Definitely apply for it. I would apply also for districts. Districts is the one that's easiest to get. So if you have huge expectations, like mega cities, some countries only get one, some get a couple. But if you're a newer TO and you're an unproven TO, like I do think I would recommend starting at a smaller, more, maybe approachable size. Like districts is kind of the place to be for that. Not that you shouldn't apply for a mega city if you're like really confident and excited about it. Like that usually will get you 90% of the way there. Any tips for a first time TO? Preparation is really important. I'm at a point now where I have a box on a shelf that just has all my TO stuff in it. So if we have to run a tournament tomorrow, we're good to go. For bigger tournaments for people coming in, I like to have name tags so people can write their names and pronouns on it. That's really nice. You want to have someone at front desk. You need to figure out whether you're doing online reporting or in paper reporting, and that's a little process you have to know. You should have someone helping you as a judge because you're going to have judge calls and you need to sort that sort of stuff up. I would definitely read through the organized play policies. Things like mega cities are competitive events, so they have to be ruled a certain way. So there's a bit of work there, but you can always ask around. There's always people who are happy to help and volunteer. But for judging, there's a really interesting conversation that I think we might talk about if I don't forget. But like prize support is a bit of an interesting thing recently. I totally missed it, but the last like applications for megacities and districts and cons that just came out from Signal, they said specifically you're not. I don't even know if they use the term of not allowed to, but they're saying like only make one alt art. Which is a funny and weird conversation to have because last year we really did hit this sort of like cold war when it comes to like prize support. And there is something to be said about it, but I feel like I'm all over the place at this point. Targeted anti-UK prizing bans. I think they were not just anti-UK. I think they're also on our side of the pond as well. Where it was like we ran an event with 3 alt arts. There's so many places that are like, here's 2-3 alt arts. And it does kind of feel like you need to do that, but I don't think you do. And I think maybe that money is not the best well allocated that way either, but we can talk about that later. Backtrack, that maybe is my starting advice. I'd have to think about it a bit more, but your goal is to make everyone like happy and have a good time and have it run on time and feel included. Organization is just definitely a part of it to make things smooth, but if you can have someone who's ran an event be with you for that, it does help a heck of a lot. There's a lot going on. You'll be tired. I think that's one of my hardest things when organizing events is once the event is over, like the time where people want to hang out and be social, I'm like cooked. And that's the part I need to figure out how to deal with. I feel like Brandon got completely owned in that episode. I wouldn't say like that, but I think Dav's like expressed his point. Traveling is part of visiting meta rules as it's harder of late. Yeah, no, I hear you. Mercury and ESSA were very similar in my mind gameplay wise, but I don't think that's right. Yeah, I think that's a way of thinking about it. It's like, I'm not a big Mercury fan. I think Mercury did relatively well at Worlds too. And I think a lot of the people that I play again who play ESSA just the same way that they play Mercury usually, where it's like, if I haven't described it before, I'm going to say a hockey reference, I think, even though I don't play hockey and I don't really care about hockey. But like, I like good Netrunner when it's like, passing the puck and making, these incremental plays and then you make a cool play and something happens, right? It's about finesse. And Mercury is just like someone taking slap shots. It's like someone just at whatever the blue line is. I don't know the lines in hockey. And just every shot is a slap shot. And like, if you shoot enough slap shots, one of them will go in. And that's fine. Like it converts to winning games. But that is the way that I see Mercury, and that's the way I also see ESSA to some extent, but that's not the way that everyone's playing ESSA, it seems, which is good. Vampire Write-Up is worth reading for play tips, especially the Black Scroll. I don't think I've read it. We probably will read it in just a second. Adelaide Megacity, let's go. I've played against this a bunch today on Jaina Casual, and the amount of incidental sabotage is comically high. The Mechanicite's giving you so much extra budget to take core is huge. Yeah, this is a weird card. I had no idea this is in the deck. I don't even know why. This is the only plus hand side cards we have, I guess. Sorry, broad question. Our usual TO can't commit to the date window. Judging is pretty much the only thing that makes me nervous. Judging is okay. Get help. Like, don't judge alone if you don't have to. At the end of the day, if there's something that's tricky or something that's hard, ask someone else. I've heard this from multiple judges and it's so good. Like if you think the thing that's happening cannot be repaired and it's a game loss, it doesn't matter how much time is left in the round. So that means you can take your time to figure out whether it has to be a game loss. So just talk to other people, ask questions, always just have the rule book on you, like the organized play policies, the organized play rules, I mean, more accurately, and just check them. Double check. And one of the big things, and you'll read this if you read the organized play stuff, if you're a judge, your role is to make people understand why things are happening. I know that's a big part when I judge. Whenever I finish a judging call, my question is always, do you understand what happened? Or like, do you understand why the ruling is like that, or why the resolution is like that? I say it less condescending than that, I promise, but you'll get there. Lucy, can you comment on Hippocamic versus T400? Yeah, what does this do? This gives you +2 hand size, right? T400 gives you 1, but this costs you a card and influence. I don't fully get it. You still do extras like NPC prizes because you can get that prize at multiple events. Is that how it works? Is Continentals exempt from the restrictions? I need to read into it, but I don't think we're going to be applying for Continentals again here, because I don't think you're going to get it 2 years in a row. Supernaut, how's it going? T400 was correct early in RWR startup, so I could believe it. Slots versus influence. The summary's maximal prizing is now NSG prizing, plus 1 event exclusive commissioned prize, plus 1 multiple event shared commissioned prize. Oh, so that's like UK Nationals or an NPC or whatever. As much as widely available prize vault prizing as you want. So they are saying you cannot have more prizing than that, which is not something I ever thought we would have to say. And there's maybe reasons why that's the case, but I don't know. Hey, Andrew. Not sure what we're talking about. It sucks to suck, but Netrunner's still fun. I reckon. How you doing? Slab shots on a significant downward trend. Kyle, how's it going? Hey, Gyro. That and T400. Yo, what's up, Cold Lava? Congrats again. Hippocampic is great with Ashen so that you do more self-core damage. Is the volume coming up and down only on my side? Is that happening to someone else? Let me know. Seems okay on my side. The bar to feel like you can run a great tournament shouldn't be behind commissioning fancy art is the idea. I 100% get that. And like, I really hope that nobody thought that that was the case. I think it seems like that's the case because your peers are doing it potentially. But I think at the end of the day, if you put on an event, people are excited to come, whether or not you have any prize support. Like, I think you can run a killer event with literally 0 prize support. And I think it's important that people don't think they need to spend lots of money on, you know, nice prize support for people to come to their thing. That's not how it used to be. Back in the day, you went to an event and all that was there was the prize kit. That was it. This is like a pretty modern contrivance. If you ask me, when it comes to prize support, for me, it's an excuse to make something to put into the world. Like, oh, we had a budget at Continentals to make some nice pieces of art. So we reached out to artists we like to make stuff. Admittedly, yeah, that's expensive and not everyone can do it. And yeah, maybe that money should have been spent in a different way that would help more people at the event. I think you can argue that for sure. You're going to kill me with that. Congrats. Yeah, one day I'll stop. Yeah, so like I hear it for sure. I find it a bit strange that it's enforced, but I do think that that should be a thing that people can talk, like publicly be very clear about it. I do think there will be a downward trend naturally. I think people did overprice things, and I think the learning is that like that probably isn't the thing. I think Axu had a really good opinion about that. All right, let's talk about this. Vampire 2025 World Champion. I love this game. I love this community. Huge congrats to Zomdraft for the incredible Worlds run. I always keep an eye out for developing talent, and from our first game on JNet, I knew you had great things ahead of you. Oh, this is really sweet. I also loved seeing your father cheering you on in Stockholm. It reminded me of my own dad accompanying me to Konami Center and asking strangers to play when I was too shy to ask myself. It's nice to have family that encourages and supports your nerdy passions. Oh, this is very cute. So let's lift the veil on the hottest runner of the format. The name Vampire derives from our need to feed on corp cards. If we're locked out, Audrey goes hungry, and that can't be good. Vampirism is also a metaphor for neurodivergence. Autism is living by vampire rules. Light sensitivity, eating the wrong food makes you want to die, need to be explicitly invited places, weird sleep schedule, eating the same thing every time, specific rituals and routines, burst into flames instead of a crucifix, etc. Biting. All right, I've been working on this deck for the past 7 months. It was joined by Larea, London, Radish, and many more, all of whom left their indelible marks in making of this deck. Apologies, I'm not going to read everything here. I'm going to read a couple sections. I would recommend you to read the whole thing. Justifying Bling. So this is the card. It's a console. We had seen almost none of it see competitive play in the last entire season since this came out. It's a 2-cost card that draws you cards. As long as you install a card that is free, and it has to be truly free, and there's a bunch of ways to do it in the Anarch card pool, you can host the top card of your deck here, and then until the end of your next turn, you can play that card. And if that card is free, this thing happens over and over again, because this is not first time or one time, this is whenever. So you can do it. I do want to say, watching Worlds, this card looked bad from the streams that we saw, or it didn't look super important, considering that this slot is like a contested slot, and there are arguably other consoles that could make sense. But overall, I've heard that this card is definitely worth the slot. I just think the matchups we saw it where like the Zomdraft, the runner decided not to fire it on some turns, does tell you that it's not perfect all the time, but some consoles just aren't that way. I imagine against like LEO and stuff like that, which was a big part of the field, against like Glacier, which we didn't see too much of that on stream, this is probably a bit better. Okay, the console's raised a lot of eyebrows, so let me explain its inclusion. Vamp is my third attempt at building Bling deck. First two have been building a very cool Seb deck. I saw Pinsol Pilot on JNet, and then Arasan I built on a very enjoyable evening with Ba. Till what I learned, 1, Bling is fake, draw, Illumination is cracked. Bling Hosh was meant to be a pit stop on the way to perfecting Bling Seb, an experiment to see what zero-cost Anarch cards were worth playing. You kind of have to play console anyways, and Bling is the only Anarch console that draws cards. Now, it's fake draw, it doesn't help you versus damage, but mulch-type decks like filling their heap quickly anyways, so it's not pure downside. Okay, I thought it would explain it more than that, but I get it. I'm in, I guess. How to play the deck. Enter the 36 chambers. I'm not going to click on this link. What is this link? I'm going to click on this link. We're on an adventure together. It's a Notion page. You aren't trying to win. I'm not going to. By Peter. Oh, it's a Peter H manifest. What are you doing? I can't read this. Okay, it's not that wrong, but wait, is this a hype? We don't have the time to do this, but there is documentation, I guess, if you want it. Bonus, assorted songs and images. Here's some images, more images, a lot of images. There's a whole lot of images. Cool. We'll check it out. For me, I'm annoyed that I'm being limited in how much money I can give to local artists for events, but I get why. Yeah, I kind of feel that. Personally, I'm not concerned about commission costs. I just want to slow down or creep towards the unreadable full art boards from the last rotation. Jai, I think if that's like the way to, I hear you, but also like the full art stuff is kind of a big part of the community, and I think we're gonna get there whether you want to or not. And I think the speed of what we get there is kind of relevant. We could have a movement towards specifically non-tournament legal arts, so you can have multiple decks built for casual play, but tournaments play, you wind up with less arts. Yeah, I don't know. Artists like making art. People like buying art. People like supporting artists. People like having cool Netrunner cards. If you ask me, when I go to a tournament, like I go to Worlds, I will play no alt arts mostly, besides the official stuff that people will know, but that's because I feel like I'm angle shooting. But if you did, I would not say you're angle shooting. The black scroll is vital. You have 4 clicks. The corpus 3. You cannot lose if you touch everything. Is this the black scroll? I will link you to a document I have infamously referred to as the forbidden black scroll of unbanned in the past. You have 4 clicks. The corporation has 3. You cannot lose if you touch everything. Okay. I will accelerate our move to full art boards. I will not rest until World's Final features 0 NSG frames. That's going to be bad. For viewership, that's going to be pretty bad. I'll be honest, for viewership, that's not a place that we want to get to too quickly. Lucy declared war on SG card frames. You saw it here. I mean, like, I'm scared. I can't follow a game if it's all not NSG frames. Like, I have problems, let alone people watching at home. Do what you will, everyone, but yeah, just it's weird. Okay, anyways, Hoshiko, 51 cards. Hoshiko draws cards. You know the text, it's really good. You want to run every other turn, if not every turn. Cards that I don't fully get. Illumination is really good. In Anarch, it's really, really good. With Paladin Puemo, it's really, really good. I find it strange to spend 3 influence on a singleton in a 51 card deck that is not incredibly important. I have said on camera that when your Anarch opponent fires an Illumination, you lose the game if it connects. So maybe that is proving what I need to prove here. But I find it so weird that this is a slot in the deck. I was told that original versions of the list were on double Illumination, and then Illumination got cut for 3 pinholes, which, yeah, that seems a bit more responsible. But this one I don't get at all. There must be a different way to spend influence, but I'd be so excited if I landed this. It's another card that we saw play 0 times during the World's Top Cut. So I don't have a lot of data off of this one. It was 2 elimination, but needed 3 pinhole. Yeah, that's what I heard. Every Worlds gets 1 extremely silly card on the winning list as a treat. Bling, Spree, Secure, and Protect. Yeah, the one of... that's sick. I think there was like... if I'm not mistaken, they were more... What was the silly stat? That there were more shreds in the World's Top Cut than Madani's? Alt arts make me happy. They make me happy too. I just wouldn't play them always at a competitive event. We're already there. Stream board states are unreadable? No, I don't think they are. I think stream board states were really good this year at Worlds. The rest of the package here is what we call a mulch package. This is an archetype that's been around for a couple years. The idea is that you have Audrey and you need to trash things to give Audrey counters, and this is your large breaker. And then you don't want to be too precious about your programs because they all come back. So you want to like fill your bin and then use your bin as a toolbox with things like Simulchip, and then eventually we'll Ash and Epilogue. That's the short of the long. And so the first couple turns, just rip through your deck and set up. We don't have a lot of money. That's one of the big things about these decks is like the fermenter is your economy piece. Knowing when to pop it and when to recur it is actually really, really important because the only raw econ card we have in this deck is Strike Fund. Nothing else makes you money between Strike Fund and Fermenter, if I'm not mistaken. That's really, really, really wild to me. I'm not sure what you're meant to do against Oppo decks. I think you're just meant to trash the right key pieces. But like, I don't think we can clear an Oppo for 4 unless the Fermenter cooks. And again, Fermenter, really, really important. It's already really, really good against Oppo decks. You just want to keep it in. Illumination is so much fun though. I know it is, but like it's a 51 card deck. So there's going to be a lot of games where this doesn't do anything, I imagine. But we'll see if we get there. Avoiding MR kills is very hard here. Yeah, I imagine that too. Like we just don't have liquidity. And if we need liquidity, that's going to be weird. There's also cards that I would say like seem integral, but are not 3-ofs. Like Lagu seems just really, really good in this deck. We only have 2. Solidarity Badge seems really, really good. We only have 1. Buffer Drive is okay. I think you need it for your infinite recursion loop stuff. And also if you lose your Ashen, this is the way to bring it back. But I wouldn't like play it on turn 1, I don't think. I can't imagine playing this on turn 1. It costs 3 credits, but Paladin Pummel will help there. 20 is our multi-axis, and then our other multi-axis is just touch things and be annoying with Gourmand, and then hopefully win games with Audrey. What's wild is like people were really worried about Matryoshka. So people are playing a lot of anti-AI tech, whether it's Samasumun, whether it's Hammer, whether it's Hagen. And at the end of the day, the dolls did okay, but they didn't do amazingly well. I guess they did the best we could have imagined this year, let's be honest. But like Audrey still took it. So even though people are playing things like VSAs and all that other garbage, you do have to watch out. There is a fair bit going into Worlds of anti-AI tech, and we're going to run into more of it. Your breakers cost 0 to use and your cards are 0 to install for Blink Synergy. What do you need money for? Oh, all that other stuff like Oppo research and trashing assets and clearing Oppo tags and measure response stuff. Like the part of the game that requires you to have money, which isn't every matchup, but there's a fair few matchups where like your credit pool is actually very important. Credits are a crutch. Trenzor, yeah, to some extent. But there's some matchups where it's not. But to some extent, import deck. Yeah, we had good Zwicky games last week. That's the limit I give myself for competitive events. I've always been a fan of alt arts. I feel like it should be around identity and number of official full arts, 2 to 5 others. I feel like if you ask me, on the runner side, I think you're allowed to kind of go wild with it. But on the corp side, that's the side that I'm a bit more careful with my alt arts. Because if someone accesses R&D and then they're like, huh? And they're clearly reading your one weird copy of like Empiricist or whatever. Yeah, I feel like I've learned something from my opponent that I should not have learned. Feels bad. The corp cards I will almost always play just like straight regular stuff. Runner alt arts, I don't care that much because it doesn't matter. When you install the card, you say the name of the card. That's what I was really excited about COS. I asked Sandar and I was able to play all the stuff from like West Coast Nationals. And that deck played a whole bunch of those cards. I was like, hell yeah. I'm going to play a Daniela that people are going to access and be like, what's this? And it'll be like, it's Daniela. Have fun. It's in foil, which is really nice. I played enough broke-ass runner decks just to know sometimes just eat shit if you are trying to do something apart from having lots of real money. Oh, I want to be clear. Like, you can survive without money. It's fine. Obviously, the deck did well. But there are certain matchups where, like, it is about keeping the fermenter in reach. Because if they oppo you, on some board states, you should have to clear the fermenter and then pop the fermenter and clear 3 tags. Even more if you have like the one of, I guess you have a bit more flexibility if you have the one of Solidarity Badge. Appreciate the tips. Gonna have to catch the thought. Have a good stream, folks. Thank you. Good luck with your application. That's really sick that you're playing for a thing. It's a lot of work and it's not everyone wants to do it. And that's really cool. Oh, it's fire. Hey, how's it going? Virus is going to be really bad for us too, I imagine. I wonder if people tech around the deck list of the week. They should. Hey, how's it going, Tiago? I'm new to the game. Can you make videos about runner archetypes like you did with the corpse? I don't remember making archetype videos about the corporations, but yeah, we definitely could. We definitely could. I think I should focus on making some more content. Ooh, we're playing against Atea. We have 49 cards. I'm not sure what Atea is doing. I don't think most people are. So I imagine something tricksy. We have to watch about bites. Bites are probably in the deck to some extent. Fire kept their hand. So our hand, thanks you two. I'm not 100% sure about this. We have Chisel for Ice Destruction alongside Devil Charm, which we don't have. Pinhole Threading is really good into the matchup because there's going to be a lot of stuff Atea needs to protect, like cohorts or whatever other Lacostas, imagine. That's going to be expensive. Simulchip, I don't care about. Cookbook is really good. Botulus, also not bad. It's going to be an issue when we hit a Tattoo Bola, which Atea plays all three of them. I mean, I have no idea if this is a hand we want to keep. I'm imagining we want to mulligan into like a Paladin Puemo, a Bling, like I was going to say an Econ card. The Cookbook is probably the best setup card we have in our hand. I don't know if I love this. Stims are red, Hollers are blue. I can't read the rest of this. You can't get Glacier Remoted Heart. I mean, we could, but like Atea is a bit inconsistent. I'm going to mulligan this to see more of the deck. Oh, we have Illumination on turn 1. Do we win? Mersh is the Atea Hotness IMO. I have never seen it, but I can understand why that would be the case. I think it's a bit awkward though, because Atea is the first time. So like there's a chance that Mersha doesn't do anything. Maybe you just like ice up centrals and have Mersha solve the remote. I have no idea. Atea Trixie, all the tricks rotated. Adrian over, okay. Single advance. So that looks much more like a Charlotte. On 4 credits, we could face tank it. We do have an Illumination here. But I think we just run this. Worst case is the 7 credit res. I don't think there's a 7 credit res we care about that much. First of the North Star. I don't know what that is. I think we're just going to charge it. Hopefully we get a Sama resed. We can just tank it. It's a Tattoo. Okay. So Tattoo is really annoying because if we want to Botulus it, they swap for 4. I think we're okay just like bouncing on this. If we had a Chisel, we'd run down the Tattoo Bola. That'd actually be really good. So if we Illumination, I think we draw here and then we Illumination down Lago, Fermenter, and the next card. No, that's bad. We don't want to put the Botulus on the Tattoo Bola, so we could draw once more. If not, we just make a successful run, install Fermenter, which might be good enough. Fire kept. This reads not like an agenda. This reads like a Charlotte. So we could run HQ and just install the Fermenter. Maybe running R&D is better, but this will give us more information. I don't think there's an agenda in here. Hedge fund, full art, nice. Maybe we should have drawn with Steelskin there. Yeah, maybe. I'm like trying to always keep this because I'm expecting us to face tank pretty hard into Jinteki stuff. I don't really usually play Steelskins against Jinteki, but you're right. Maybe we should have there. Illumination seems worth. Yeah, Lago is probably worth putting down. Even if we illuminate to get the access to install 2, it's probably worth. I think you're right. I think you're very right there. All right, rip it. Devil Charm, Gourmand, Gachapon, and the last card we lost was Price. So Devil Charm doesn't do much on this board state. Gourmand can challenge server 3, which could be a Spin Dock or Centrals. Gachapon can set us up a bit more. I'm okay with a Gachapon here, I think. We could take a turn off running. Now we have to watch out that this could be a Mavirus at any point. Charlotte was advanced. We know nothing about the hand. Don't know what this is. Don't know what this is. So I'm like so used to like keeping on 5 credits, but we don't have hedge fund, so we could just steal skin into Illumination. Yeah, we do. Is Blink gonna fire here? Yeah, Blink is gonna fire here. So if we Illumination, we install Blink for 1, Devil Charm for free, Lago for 1. We have no money, we have no problems with Hosh. Let's see what happens. So the order here is important. Spin Doctor Res, great. So we can install 3 cards. So if we install the Blink first, we'll draw a couple cards. Let's try and do it. We have clicks left, but not money. So Blink installs for 1. Devil Charm installs for free, so we can fire the Blink. It has a Pinhole Threading. That's annoying. This happened a lot on the stream. And then we'll install Lagu for 1. He steals a Fuji. We'll hit the Strike Fund. Just kidding. Okay. And we draw. So we can Pinhole here, but we have functionally no money. So we'll just draw. Okay, Audrey's good. We'll do Hoshiko. Oh, we had a credit? What's Hoshiko to do? And we lose the Blink card. As an MTG player, sometimes I get lost because in Netrunner I can't find a deck that can fit the classic Magic archetypes like aggro, control, and combo, and end up getting a bit lost. Oh, it's La Costa. There is somewhat close overlaps, but not perfectly. So I'm not a big Magic the Gathering player, but I have an idea what like aggro, control, and combo is. There are straight combo decks in Netrunner. They're few and far between. Right now, this seems like they're more popular on the corp side than the runner side. Aggro decks, mostly again, anarchs and criminals sending it central servers, like just send it all the time. Control decks are like just Hyper Glacier usually, or a Shaper that wants to set up for a really long late game, or you actually can play like Hoshiko in that way too. In theory, we can fire Gachapon here. If we found a 3-cost installable, we can duck the Hoshiko. I'm going to do it. Audrey, Botulus, Devil Charm, Fencer, Gourmand, Paladin. So we can install Audrey, lose all our money. We can install Fencer Fueno, which we don't really care about. Gourmand or Paladin. I think we just go for the Paladin. It's a financial choice. Consider Gacha before start turn. Yeah, I was going to. We have the Audrey in hand, but I wanted to spend this credit. I don't think we install the second Audrey when we have the Paladin here. Ooh, Blink. Nice. So 3 cards to shuffle back. So I don't know if we care about the Fencer Fueno. Devil Charm looks really good in this matchup. We haven't seen a Chisel yet. We've lost 2 Botuluses. The third Botulus is probably fine. It'll invalidate a big ice until like a Mitra shows up. I don't know if we need the second Audrey, but like removing it from the game is kind of risky too. I think we remove Fencer and Gourmand from the game. That might be wrong. Do you need a Botulus now that all servers are iced? We kind of do, but like I don't want to put a Botulus on this because if it's like a Samak, it's bad. If it's a Tattoo, it's bad. There's chances it's not very good. And then all the ice that it is has like 3 to 4 subroutines. So it's not my priority. Generally, I'll face check with my face. Okay, so we'll take a turn off here. All they're doing is Charlotte. He probably has an agenda in hand by now, but I think we just like draw, credit. That's good. We can install that next turn. We don't have to install this Paladin, obviously. Maybe we should just undraw credit, because Lago will draw us a card. There's definitely combo runner, it's just not that good right now. Yeah, but I would still call that aggro, right? Like it's trying to fire off really quickly. Maybe that's wrong. Did you do Arkham news? No, I didn't. We probably should for a moment. What's the Arkham overlap in chat tonight? We didn't learn anything about the deck by hitting Fuji either. But right now, this just looks like mid-range. Atea has fired twice, I think, technically. New core set. Your old core set. Throw it in the trash. You want to play new campaigns? You need to buy the new core set. New Mythos cards. Not sold separately. I think it pays more like a combo deck if you're assembling tools and eventually you pull the trigger. I'm not an Arkham enjoyer. Have you tried Tron? Ooh, HQ Ice. Ooh, Lagu. Steel Skin. Draw the Simulchip. I mean, okay. He's got a lot of money. Let's be honest. That's a lot of money there. I'm going to ask for action. The card on HQ could be a Holoman. I'm not sure what else it is. Maybe a Mitra. There's a Mizrael SVA Clan Vengeance combo deck. Oh yeah, there's been runner combo decks. Ones around that power level, but they haven't existed for that much long. Like, not that long. Just checking for Mav. Yeah, no stress. You disappoint me. So next turn they'll probably purge. So he has us going. So I think we need to crack the fermenter here and just have enough money. I want to always have a Simulchip on the turn the fermenter is cracked, but not much we can do about it. We could just install like twinning out of pocket, install buffer drive, and then just like chill. If that's the case, we can draw once. I don't think we're gonna run. We could run the Spin Doctor down. He can't really let us have it. Like maybe he shuffles back 2 hedge funds, but we just want to threaten touching a card. So we're not going to use any Paladin Poemo credits. So when we install this, we get the twinning counter. So we can click for credit. We can run Spin Doctor. I'm assuming he's going to get popped. We're running to get the Hoshiko. If he lets us trash it, we won't. We'll just touch it, I think. Wasn't it supposed to be Arkham content? Yeah, there is. And we might get there. It'll probably be on paper, not so much online. I recorded like 2 or 3 sessions with Jeff, and I think we had a great time. But I think we picked a very boring campaign for the first part of content. But I got some like new dice. So it's easier to track like clues and stuff from a distance. So maybe I'll play some solo Arkham here. I'm not 100% sure. I think I'm cooling down a wee bit on Arkham, I'll be honest. I just finished the Drowned City campaign and I don't really have that much good to say about it, unfortunately. Seems good runner combos are more problematic than good combo corps. Runners are more able to interact with the corp, trying to not interact and combo out the other way around. All right. We need to set up a devil charm. I think we're just gonna steal skin here. Okay, our Audrey's back. We have the devil charm, we can install it. Audrey needs counters to break subroutines. We want to chisel this Tattoo Bola down. If we draw a chisel, we're like really opening the server pretty heavily. Otherwise, what are we doing? I think we install Audrey, we install Devil Charm. We can draw once. Okay, it's good to know where that is to some extent. Oh. Never mind, we had one of those. That's bad. We shouldn't have drawn then. We really should not have drawn. I guess I'm playing the Strike Fund. That's bad. You already have a charm? Yeah, I found out the hard way. Being unable to kill a Charlie feels pretty bad. Oh, it's pretty bad right now. We have 3 chisels. We can find one. We need a cookbook too. But like at this point, he's probably flooded up. That's why the HQ pressure is getting there. Drown City wasn't great, but Hemlock was excellent. I like Hemlock a fair bit. I'm worried that I'm not going to want to replay it. I've replayed it a bit, but I feel like replaying the openings parts. Yeah, Blink at the bottom. Wasn't my favorite. But yeah, Hemlock was good. But I feel like, yeah, I don't know. We wanted to Audrey the Strike. We have buffer. Oh my god, you're right. You're right. We just threw in the garbage. Yeah, we could have played it. Yeah, okay, hold on. We gotta get our head in the game. We can throw out the Strike Fund to bottom it. This server is gonna go down. Why is a server like this? I'm assuming we're gonna chisel the Tattoo Bola and then it's going to be Metrid. Chat, are we getting Metrid? Are we gonna get Metrid into a snake? Adrian on HQ? There's no way that this is not a Mitra, right? Are we gonna do the bad thing? The server needs shred? I mean, yeah, I guess. Fire does like snakes? Yeah. But if we don't have a Simulchip, we're gonna get got by Mitra. I'm gonna do it. Like I know this is gonna be bad, but I want to do it. It's gonna be fun. So we're assuming now here that Tattoo Bola gets destroyed. Blind Pinhole on server 4? I don't think we have a big reason to do that. The issue is the chisel is on this. Oh, no Mitra window. Unless Fire thinks we're going to go back. Like, we have to Devil Charm the Tattoo Bola or we have to run back. This is really funny. Do you think that we just bounce it and go back and hope that there's no Mitra? If we use the Devil Charm, we beat the Mitra, right? But if we don't use the Devil Charm and run back, the Mitra fires. I think there's a Mitra in here so bad I'm going to Devil Charm it. We'll find out together. I'm assuming Fire thought we'd bounce off of it and run back to chip it down. Anoetic, Managarm. Okay, that also makes sense. And there's an agenda. So we'll pay 5 because Fire can't fire this twice. Oh, but we don't have the clicks. Scheiße. We have to force the cards out of hand. We pay 5, we're bankrupt. Fire, then we run back. We can't get through the Managarm. But then all the cards are in archives. Okay, so we use the Devil Charm like a fool because the Anoetic Managarm on top of a thing. On top of an agenda. Huh, this is not good. Is it clicks? It might be clicks, but then the run's over, right? Like, do we want to spend 2 clicks for 5 credits? Probably, but this forces the Anoetic no matter what. The question is, what are we doing with our other clicks? Like on 25 credits, probably not much. Let's see what happens when you score out here. Hey, Alkama, how's it going? Finally get to catch the stream live. Good day. Hey, good day. How's it going? How's your, I'm assuming Friday at this point. Welcome to the stream. All right, so Fire has 1 card in hand. That's probably an agenda. So far, Atea hasn't done that much. Let's see if we score out. I'd be surprised if we need the Mitra for the run back, but who knows? Yeah, it doesn't seem like the Mitra is for the run back. So we use the Devil Charm really foolishly. It did save us 5 credits, I guess. Let's see if Fire has Ice in hand. We've already done 1 Spin Doctor. We need to trash a card to let Audrey do something. But next turn, like if Fire doesn't draw twice, we can run down the server. So we're going to just run down the server, I think, and spend our whole turn doing it. So it looks like it's a 5-2. Like maybe we're scoring a Sisyphus. Don't forget Audrey discard. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it now. Maybe that's a spin dock. Otherwise, we're taking cards out of hand. The Adrian can also come in here, which I've never had to deal with Anoetic Managram Adrian. Okay, so never mind. We missed the Audrey Strike Fund window. We could have done it on our turn, though. Yeah, Alex, how's it going? Yeah, we should have done it on our turn to play the Strike Fund. It's 2 turns we missed the credits. So we have to do all, like, the server doesn't need ice, let's be honest. I think we still run. I think we still run it. This is probably a spin doctor, which is like making this a bit more appealing. Yeah, this is shred. We got shred. Light the fire would be so game winning. So I think we just need to force this to be ugly. Yeah, shred's not even perfect. It just beats one end the run. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna run it. We'll double click and see what happens here. Use that shiny shred. I got you. I mean, if there's ever a time. Okay. We're really struggling to get any Audrey counters, so I think I'll spend 2 clicks here. We can threaten to run back on 5, but we're assuming this is a spin doctor. So they didn't want to use Adrian. Oh, because after successful run. So now there's no cards in hand. So if we run back and pay 5, I'm assuming that fire reses the spin doctor here. This also could be a cohort. We could probably face tank something. Is Charlotte bait? There's no shot at Charlotte bait. So if we run server 2 and pay 5, we'll have no money, so Adrian wins. Okay. So we can strike fund to get 2 credits, and then we have to beat the Adrian size side game, and then we could beat the server. The thing is, if we beat the Adrian, like if fire pays 2, we only trash Adrian for 2, we can't afford to do that. Not able to break a single ice. Maybe we needed a botulus here. Always bid 0, yeah, but then we're just trashing Adrian. And then we can't trash any other cards. So we just paid for Managarm and Anoetic just to trash Adrian, which is like maybe good. But also, like, I think all we have to do is just pinhole the Anoetic at some point, and that serves so many problems here. Pay 0 and trash Adrian, yeah, but then we go down to 0 credits. We touch a card with Hoshiko, so we actually go up credits, which is kind of cool. Maybe we do it. But there just might be another Adrian. I don't know. I'm assuming this is an Adrian. Maybe that's the Mitra. How's it going, by the way, Hart? Gets you an Audrey counter? Yeah, I guess it does. The Hoshiko touch is also super important. We could just fire at Archives. I think I could fire at Archives. Yeah, it's not bad. It has to go through. I'm just gonna run Archives and see what happens. This obviously can get rezzed. Okay. We don't die. We might have to jack out, though. Why Archives? To see what's been discarded from hand and to get a Hoshiko touch. I think legally we have to jack out here or we die to Fuji. Oh, no, we die to Fuji in the remote server anyways. So we have to touch this and hope we win the game. But my read is the remote server is either Fuji or Sisyphus, so this is really bad, actually. Yeah, well. We could, like, jack out and hope that this is a Sisyphus, and, like, maybe we survive here. I'm just gonna hope that we win. We don't. So maybe we die to Fuji in the remote server. Looks like there was nothing. It was regular and Anoetic 2 hedge funds. Yeah, we're dead to Fuji here. I'm not going to say hope is a Sisyphus because I never want to say that sentence. Looks like it's not. Okay. No reason to breach, surely. Fire can control with spin. If it is a spin. Looks like it's not. But it gives us the Hoshiko flip, so it's definitely worth something. What about 4 points? Yeah, if it's 4 points, we win, as long as we hit the Fuji second. So this is a Charlotte. You also lose just much slower. Yeah, that's what I fear. So we lost a Devil Charm. We kept the Ashen, which is kind of cool. I feel like we're really struggling to get purchase here. 2 ice on all centrals is really hard. This card wasn't pushed out, and it makes sense. Like, the server's really, really safe. I think we're just going to let Lacosta do the work here. So even if the Sisyphus, I don't think it to push out. So we know, all we know is that, actually, this could be, no, if it was a clearinghouse, we would have died. So I think we just repair here. I don't think we do badge. Cookbook we probably do. Time for Wolf 2. I lost a firing Sisyphus and started once. I don't think we can Wolf 2 here. If anything, we Wolf R&D, but it's very likely there's an end to run R&D. Like, I don't know how we're meant to get forward momentum. Gachapon's not the worst, but I think we just want to charge the twinning. Don't like this. All right, Charlotte's giving the cards in hand for Anoetic, but I think now we have to pinch R&D before the agendas go in the remote. If we had Simulchips, we'd be in an okay spot because we can like flicker Audrey. There's only 2 more Simulchips in the deck, I think. Yeah. And we have no more Botulus. No, we have 1 more Botulus. Oh, it's Proprio. Okay, cool. So Saisentan Proprio. We have to watch about the Afrun tech. If you're not familiar with the Afrun tech, it's really good. We'll just bottom it. Okay, we drew this. And we can lose in like 3 turns. Adrian on HQ, so there might be an agenda here in HQ and then 2 here. So save 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's half the points in the game. We could just Gachapon to try and get Botchus while running. That may make some amount of sense, maybe. But running R&D and Sing 4, this list might have a single bite in it. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Tuning in while assemble bookcases. What's going on with the server? There's like a lot of upgrades in it. David, how you doing? It's a lot. It's Lacosta, Anoetic, Managarm, redundant upgrade, and then this card's new. We're 100% sure. Install Gacha, don't draw. Yeah. I was going to like throw the Steel Skin draw tree, but this is a start because it does the blink draw. Okay, Chisel is good. We have to use it this turn though. You can't use it at fast speed. Like you have to install it like you would from your hand. So it's not like we can do any fast tricks. But like in theory, we could chisel down. Like I don't even know what we're chiseling here. Like we just chisel R&D and run. Laura, how's it going? Did you win an event this weekend? I don't care. I'll touch cards. I'm assuming this is the Laura. Sayus for the Proprio? Sayus for the Proprio. Oh my god, yeah, you're right. We can get thrown into Sais and Tan. It's okay, we'll catch up on something. Yeah, we can just get thrown into Sais and Tan. We have a Steels can be fine. Putting the chisel on this like doesn't help that much. But yeah, I forgot. At any point in time they can throw us into archives. We're gonna lose to this. Laura won the ABC Boston. I'm very aware. Yeah, I did pretty well at Boston. It was top of Swiss as well. There's an event recap. Oh, I didn't realize there's an event recap. Looks like this is not getting rezzed. Oh, sorry, no, we're at the weird window. It's a Botu, so we're at 4 strength. So we could catch up on this. We'd be able to break 2 end the run subroutines and continue. The problem is, at any point in time, before we can jack out, I think we can get thrown into this. Once the subroutines resolve, we can't get thrown. Botulus, Gourmand, Simulchip the price. So Botulus, Fermenter, I guess we're putting a Botulus on this with 2 counters. We'll do Cookbook, Bling. Okay, we have a Fermenter. We need to install that. Shuffle 3 cards back. Simulchip, Gourmand, I think. Okay, this is bad. There's a window before jacket. Okay. So we can take 2 damage here. Or we can just break 1 and force Fire to discard the 1 card in hand, which we're pretty sure is an agenda. Otherwise, we can take 2 net damage, but then we'd have to jack out. Otherwise, we're thrown to the Seisentan. We probably die. With no cards in hand, though, we can run back. Sort of. Yeah, we can run back. The Dread House on Eyes window. I've died to that in Azuma. You can get thrown before the jack out. You said we couldn't. Okay, so Fire Trash the unknown card in hand. So we could run back. We could get through this. If we get thrown into the Seisentan, we're probably fine. So I think we can do this. There's a chance we die to the ice inside there, but I don't know. There's no way to quick draw here unless this is a Spin Doctor, which it doesn't read like it is, but I guess it could be. Run back loose Fermenter? Yeah, I think I'm going to take that. 11 credits, we can res everything, even Snake. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, this does something, I guess. We probably don't die. Oh, this is cool. This fires a Taya. That's sick. If only you had cards in hand, but that's cool. So far, Taya hasn't seemed better than RH. Luckily, there's no code gate that ends the run, though, so we're going to get through. Okay, so we resed a barrier. Now we can resolve a sentry subroutine and a code gate subroutine. So there's only a sentry. So all we're going to do here is take 1 net damage. Well, yeah, we might get thrown into Seisentan. But we have a chance of surviving it. Like, if the Proprio gets used here, we probably survive this. Unless we don't. Not even close. Okay, we have to jack out here, because at this point, there's probably a Fuji in the bin. We're going to have to jack out there. I don't know what happens if our size was done all at once, but we had cards in hand. The thing is, like, with the cards that we drew, we lost them. So we lost a Lagu. That's fine. Wait, there was a Spin Doctor somewhere? Wait, what's going on? It was a Spin Doctor? Holy shit. That was a Spin Doctor? Yeah, the prop is gone now. The server isn't open. We can see 5 cards. Fuji could get Seamless out, I guess, but I don't think Seamless is in the list. We really need to get Botu down this turn. This board's... Ian, how's it going? I am not enjoying myself. Things got away from us really, really quickly. How you doing? I enjoyed your podcast appearance. We need cards, yeah. Okay, we have cards. I can't parse the board state. 13 credits, 1 card in hand. So we have to run this thing twice. If a virus happens, my dog is farting uncontrollably, but still seems like I'm having a better time than you. Oh, man. Hope your dog's okay. You don't know how much I'm farting over here. Maybe I'd enjoy that. Okay. So just touch the cards, win the game. This is better than a Charlotte, or we just need to fire a Taya and feel good about it. Hard to tell. So in theory, you can have an army of chisels, right? Yeah, we could like Simulchip onto the Botu and destroy it. The question is, how do we beat the Microweb? Because the Microweb, we like straight lose to like a code gate that ends the run. Maybe that's a thing that we just do. We also could run into the Botu, break the subroutine, and just come back. That's probably a bit better. What's the most damage we can take from a code gate in a sentry? I think it's 3. Unless an enemy gets installed. I think it has to be 3, right? Because it would be like a Vampire Nasa 2 net damage, 1 net damage from a Seisentan. Oh, in theory, you could res a Snake. So the most damage you could take off of a Microwave is 5. Right? The most damage you can take is 5 from Microwave. I'm assuming he doesn't have it. I don't know. I like, it could be bad. I'm assuming that it's not there. A virus would be really bad here, but at least we'll get purged now. Vampy plus Snake? Yeah, that's the 5. I think that's the worst case. It can be 6? I don't think it can be 6. With second microweb? Oh my god. Yeah, I guess so. We didn't resolve it. Uh-oh, I guess we're dead. 2 microweb and a Cloud Eater? I thought this thing was unique. It's not. Okay, let's see it happen. I don't think we have the money for 2 microweb Cloud Eater, though. I mean, we died a bite on R&D, but this card in hand was not worth discarding. But I do think, like, no matter what, we have to run back into R&D. So let's just let microweb fire. It's not real. Res is a fly swatter. We lose the whole game. On the spot. Oh no, it's happening. Oh no. Second microweb. I don't know. I honestly don't know what happens here. Was that from archives? I can't tell what's going on. Are we good? Am I free? Like, I don't know what you can do here. It's too complicated. There's no way to tell. I'm going to use 1 microweb to res another microweb to send a Kogate subroutine on this to do a sentry subroutine. So in theory, we can take 6. Like, I don't know what subroutines are firing. That was the sentry. So now it's a code gate. We're in? How are we in? I mean, we died a bite so hard. Antail. Got an Audrey counter. Peer assist is here. With our raindrops saying no, we don't. I don't know if we have raindrops. I mean, fine, great. That was great. All right, we emotionally won that trade. We have 8 cards left. Our Ashen has to be buffer drived. Maybe we're not in the worst spot. The issues we know the next 3 cards, and then none of them are good for us. I think they have an agenda here and agenda in hand, and we're going to lose to those 2 in sequence. Especially if this is another Proprio, then we're in a bad spot. But like, I feel like we can just keep firing this thing, but at some point, no. It was 2 Seisentone subroutines? Yeah, but the Seisentone subroutines are just like raw 1 net damage. Like, they don't even do extra damage, right? Because that text is on this. Oh, Adrian on R&D? That's annoying. So Audrey can break a microweb because we just have to care about the last 2 subroutines. I would have completely missed that we needed to confirm the kill there. Might be time just to buffer Levy before start a turn. Oh yeah, I guess if I knew what the bottom 7 cards of our deck were, I'd feel better about that. But I want to install the Simulchip for sure. So Fuji's going to go across next turn. Great. So I think we just install these. I guess they're not that good when you cycle your deck. And then we Audrey the Strike Fund. Maybe? We buffer drive, they install a card, we mill our Ashen. Because we fire Lagu like a clown. I mean, that's bad. Let's not pretend that's not bad. The only real good parts of RH games calling microwave. Yeah, we lose to this. This is an agenda. Yeah, I don't feel great. So we probably Simulchip here at the cost of the Audrey. We don't think there's some viruses in play. This is the agenda, but it'll be in a couple turns. The next cards on R&D, they're relatively new. We have drawn an Empiricist and a Hedge Fund. We trashed the Antail, so they're all new on the top of R&D. So we could Simulchip the Michael Web with a Botulus, trashing our Audrey. Yeah, it's maybe fine. We can trash break 1, 3, and 4. We win the Adrian game every time. Yeah, I think we have to do it. If this is a 3-pointer, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, there's 10 points in R&D and HQ. Oh, yeah, bling, that's fun. Not really. Okay. Do we just straight run it? We have to worry about Saisentan though. That's what the second Simulchip is for. Yeah, the second Simulchip is for the Saisentan. Really would have loved to have a Devil Charm. What's left in our stack? We have no Devil Charms left in our stack. We have no Chisels left in our stack. No Botchless left in the stack. No Simulchips. Bottom of the deck is known. It's like a Pinhole, a Strike Fund. We probably should know the whole bottom of our deck if we're tracking well, which we're not. I mean, I'm just going to send it. Fly Swatter? Yeah, Fly Swatter could be rezzed, but it'd be rezzed after our stuff gets purged out. Like after we use our stuff. So it's not perfect, but I want to use my Simulchips and then like Ashen them back in. Thought I heard Michael Webb too. No, it's just Michael Scott Eyes Ren. How you doing? What's your new core sets thought? Okay, so what are we breaking here? Resolve Sentry Subroutine. It's 1 damage. I don't care. Resolve Kogate Subroutine. That one is a Microweb, so it could be anything. So that's probably worth breaking. Resin Ice Ping 2 less. Mind you, Fly Swatter only purges if it's on this server, so we don't have to care about that. But if you could res a Sentry that could do 3 damage, that could be an issue. Install Nice from Archives, ignoring all costs. We probably don't want that to happen because there is at least an ice in there. So maybe we can get away with this, but I think we can't run back through this for a single Botchless unless we can actually. Sentry, does it care? Maybe we just take a net damage and don't care. It's probably right to break the Sentry and let him res an ice. That's probably better actually. Another Sentry's Microweb? No, Microweb's a code gate. Alright, Saisentan, so we have to respond to this. Or we lose the game. There's no window to res him a virus because we're encountering. Cool. Red them les an ice for info. Yeah, but it changes the value of the Microweb. It might not be worth it. No shot that he's calling hardware. Cool. We can touch. Okay, so we have to tank a Microweb next turn. The card is going to be on a single advancement in the following. This is not an agenda, this advanced card. This is a Lacosta advancement. So we probably don't lose next turn. So I think this is where we use our buffer drive to put an Ashen on top. We draw into the Ashen and play it. The bottom 3 cards of our deck, I don't think they matter. So I think that's what we do. We just buffer drive for Ashen, draw Ashen, play Ashen. And then hopefully get a war again. I don't know what else we'd be doing here. Cool, we lost a Chisel, that's no good. Pinhole, a Bling, a Simulchip, Botchless. Those are pretty bad losses. If we run it back here, Fire might have an end the run code gate at this point. But otherwise, we're just taking damage. Installing the Devil Charmer is good, but we only have 2 Chisels and 26 cards. There's no way to expand this remove from game area, so it's really hard to read. We haven't fired Twinning yet, but like, it probably doesn't matter. I think we get 1 run next turn to see 3 cards, so we have to break 2 ice. I think we just have to draw here. We could have installed Gourmand instead of drawing. That actually is strictly... No, because we don't draw the card. We discard it. This doesn't matter. Maybe we just tank Microweb this turn. We have a Steel Skin, which is really good. But we need to draw a Simulchip. Or a Chisel will be really good. I'm assuming Fire will repair R&D. We know that he has an Empiricist in hand, which also text on it sort of matters. Yeah, that's not good. 17 credits? Since when? Oh wow, we did have a Chisel. So I think we just do Devil Charm, Chisel the Microweb. Well, no, we don't Chisel the Microweb. The Microweb doesn't matter, right? We're assuming the Microweb doesn't matter. Simulchip is bad until we get stuff in Archives again. Yeah, I'll just throw the Botchless on the Saisentan. Right? Like I would install a program trashing the Botchless and then get it back, I'm assuming. So here we basically can make 1 run and hopefully win. The issue is it's an Adrian run and we have to run this twice. So we can do Devil Charm, Chisel, run. He doesn't res this. Let's assume. Then we hit a Microweb. It comes down to whether he has a code gate. I'm assuming at this point in the game he has an end the run code gate. We will have 4 cards in hand and a steel skin, so like maybe we survive. The other option is assuming that this is an empiricist and we can just tank it, which like, yeah, you can tank an empiricist, but if empiricist fires, you put a card from your hand on top of the deck. So we're seeing fewer cards with twinning functionally. Time on the round. Yeah, that's not good. So I think we'll just send it. Yeah, I'm assuming it's an empiricist. But empiricist locks R&D. We'd have to win on 2 agendas and 2 card accesses. It seems unlikely. And it has a 2 net damage subroutine, so it makes the Microweb a bit better. If it's dead, it'd be better for us. It's not a real window. Oh, it was a real window. I don't know. Let's see if there's an end the run code gate. If there's an end the run code gate, we lose the game. This deck was really good at not giving us a window to pinhole. If we pinhole the Anoetic, the game's over. Maybe we should just like pinhole Archives and hoped. New core looks good. Most excited I've been for the game since Dream Eaters. Did not have a good time with TSK and HV, but the revamped cards were good so far. TDC was pretty decent though. Hit Fireall, yeah, my bad. So what happened? Bow 2 is on Archives. It's a Fly Swatter. Oh, it was here the whole time. Okay, so we lose. So we just can't break any ice. This is a fascinating matchup. We did not play it particularly well, but we did not see anywhere near enough card to put off enough pressure. So let's talk about it. Archives doesn't matter. HQ, we can't beat a single Fly Swatter. R&D, we can't run because of the Fly Swatter. Yeah, we're cooked. Draw for second Chisel. We only have 1 click. We're assuming this is a 5-3. We should play like it's not. And if that's the case, I don't think we play the Steel Skin. I think we just draw. But that's probably game. Yeah, 5-3. Good game. Oof, that was rough. 14 turns, 42 minutes. We're playing really slow. Thanks for the game. The Microwebs are weird because like they seemed good, but they also seemed kind of bad. It was nice that we could ignore for most of the game. It did cause problems. I don't know why the Fly Swatter didn't get rezzed earlier. My guess is that Fire was okay throwing us into Saisantan, so it didn't have to show the Fly Swatter, and they just wanted to keep that information like slightly out of reach. And then on the turn where it actually mattered, it got rezzed. But this Fly Swatter was here for a while, and it was just never rezzed. Like the Microweb rezzed the second Microweb, which was just kind of for fun, because this only ended up doing 1 more damage to us. Yeah, weird. I'm assuming this is just like the RH list. I didn't see like the Taya did that much for the list because we didn't go super tall. But yeah, Proprietors are scary. You have to watch out for Archives. Absolutely fascinating game. Wrapped the whole time. Hey, Speds. I definitely should have learned more from that game too. I need to watch it back. Glad you enjoyed it. We did not get our wheels spinning. Against RH Glacier, Zomsdraft played a really good game on stream where admittedly the corporation did the thing that happens in the meta right now where the corporation just draws bad and doesn't really have a game. And it was really cool to watch because just pulled it apart. That clown card remote is kind of funny. Yeah, if we can't get a pinhole, the clown card remote is really, really, really rough for us. Hey, Harp. Playing against Ayuko, okay. She kept. Double Paladin is fine. Fermenter is good for economy. The 1 card we'd be happy to draw it in our opening hand against Ayuko. We would love to have one of our 2 Lagus. It's very, very good. We'd also love to have one of our only Solidarity badge. But I think having just a Fermenter and a Paladin is like a strong enough econ start. Then we have Botchless. As much as a lot of the ice, we can't Botchless that well. Let's see. This seems okay. We'll definitely Hoshiko this turn. What do we put in? We resin a Fut? No, so we're assuming it's a cohort. That's okay. I think we just do Paladin, run R&D. Fermenter. If we lose it to damage, we lose it to damage. We put this first because it could get a counter on it, I guess. We vamping, yeah, Cror, it's our second game. How you doing? So far, we've been struggling. Fuji, okay, so I think she's trying to hurt us. I don't love trashing from the top of the deck. I'm okay if she draws this. I honestly don't love trashing from the top of the deck. She's clearly on some sort of kill combo, so we just want to keep strike funds and sorry, steel skins in hand. Yeah, I think you can have that. We'll see if we die to it then, because obviously we were wrong. But we have to watch out. There's going to be 2 damage for each. Okay, cohort is good. We can't let that fire again. If we top deck one of our 3 pinholes, we're in a good spot. That's another good reason not to trash the thing, is because we have to trash this thing. And pinhole's a 3 credit play. But if AUCO can't fire, AUCO can't fire. I'm assuming we're going to ice up. I'd be surprised if it is the Reaper. Okay, that's the Reaper. All right, we got a little guy. I think where a little guy just runs down server 3, makes it a bit cheaper for us. We can keep touching cards. We want a badge. We want, what's it called? Lagu. I don't know what this is, but cohort's going to fire again, which is a problem for us. That's a powers. We'll Gorm on that. We have a steel skin, so we're relatively safe. This could be the Reaper. Maybe we just run down the cohort. If she reses a Seisenton, we're okay. If she reses an enemy, we're okay too. But I think it's worth the trade. If it's a Sama, we'll probably take 3 because AUCO doesn't get the counters on it. I think we just don't want to let this fire again. It's anemone. Okay, so she gets counters. Steel skin and strike fund feels good. And we drew a Lagu. And we drew a fencer. Oof. So she has 3 counters. Oh wait, we're gonna lose one more card. Lose the paladin, please. Oh no, that hurts. That hurts emotionally. Okay, so she's on 4 counters, no cards in hand though, because she had to throw out her whole hand. If we install the fencer, we have the fermenter if we get small, what's it called? Oppoed. We're not having to play around measured response. If this is a Reaper, we're down to 1 card in hand, but then she has no money. So like it's still hard for her to score out. I'm gonna put down the fencer and call it a day. If she has like Blood in the Water. She's on powers, which actually makes me think she's more likely on the 2-1. That's scary. This could be another agenda on the table, like a false lead, and then she threw out the Reaper because it wasn't a great install behind ice. Maybe server 2 is actually an agenda here because the powers was put on the table. That's my read that this is an agenda. So we could contest it. We want to contest a Spin Doctor. I don't know if we're going to find a minute to like not have Hoshiko be digital for a bit. Okay. It's a FUT. Fine. We can take a damage to deal with FUT. We definitely can't. Oof, this is how you flatline yourself. You get 3 cards out of your hand. I don't think Illumination is good in this matchup. Forgot to mention the Vitality important Fencer Illumination synergy. Yeah, you're right, because this is when the run's successful, so you can use the Fencer credits on Illumination. Again, I don't think Illumination you want to be playing at the AUCO matchup is my guess. So FUT is only 1 damage to take. AUCO already has counters. I don't think we're in a rush to take this down. Actually, maybe we are, because this is an agenda, but I think this is a Reaper. If it's a Fuji, we take 4 damage. That's fine. I think we just deal with the what could be the, because if this was a Bladder War to be rezzed, let's just deal with the card that could be forward tempo. This is an unknown card. It's a cohort. Okay, we trashed that for sure. So I think still this is an agenda. You botchless, or are you saving it? Yeah, we could botchless this. With Paladin, it's cheaper. You're right. Yeah, but I think we'll do that next turn. Yeah, that's a good call. This is a great, it's just the best thing we can probably botchless in the matchup. All right, we touched. We have a little guy, which is good. I think we just draw and install the Gourmand. Okay, whatever, Ashen. Should you Illumination? No. Should you Illumination for the stream? No. I don't want to lose the AUCO by just not having enough cards in hand. It is so bad. Like, you just need to keep your hand full every turn. Like, it's not like I'm even excited to install Devil Charm Botulus for a bit cheaper. Ideally, we take a turn to not touch cards with Hoshiko, but that's probably not going to be the way it is. This has to be an agenda in server 2. She has a money issue here. And on 2 credits, it's 3 to play Petty Cash. And she's out of AUCO counters. So we'll just try and deal with FUT before it fires. We might be in an okay spot. Yes, how's it going? How was your Thursday/Friday? All right, she's drawn. We'll probably run Spin Doctor sooner than we run Archives. I'm not convinced that this is a Regenesis. In theory, we have to respect Regenesis, but with FUT, it's a bit more of an issue. This is a turn that we can probably just set up and not touch for Hoshiko. With Paladin, we have to install something. We probably just install the Botulus. But I think this turn we do nothing. Actually, maybe we deal with the FUT, because in theory, she could score out like a 3-1, like a false lead or something, and try the FUT. This deck, you can use Illumination to install cards off of Bling. Yes, you can. Rakatha, how's it going? It is not super consistent, but you can. We tried to last game. Actually, we did last game, I think. Or no, 2 games ago. Yeah, I think we do this. Yeah, the Bling cards are in your hand. So anything that installs cards from hand, you can install off of Bling. And so you can Illumination, get a card on Bling, install that card, and fire Bling again. If you're on JNet, you can make Bling do sound effects, and it ascends, which is cute. So the question is, what is this? I think it's an agenda. Is she going to score a 3-1 to do 3 damage against a Yuko counter? I think she would. The issue is that this costs credits, so maybe we just do Botulus for free. We have to click for credit. I think then we draw, because I don't want to click for credit and lose it to Hosh. So we have to have 3 credits. So we'll do credit, run, and then last click we draw. Or Gourmand. Oh, you're right. We have a Gourmand. Yeah, we have a Gourmand. I think I'm okay bottoming out because I cracked the Fermenter. It might be better. I think we draw here, and then we run. This means we can use... Oh. Missed. Very bad miss. Sorry. I think we'll just discard a card. I forgot about this little guy. Install the modules and then run the other server, and then you hear indicate action, indicate action. Very, very good. Yo, Gotham, how you doing? We'll break. Yeah, this Gourmand is fine. This is like one of the more expensive cards we have to trash, so I could see us wanting to Gourmand it. At the end of the day, this still could be the Reaper function, but I don't think it is. I think it's an agenda. I'll pay 3 and then we'll bottom out. Because now we don't lose a credit to Hoshiko, so technically, like, this is fine. Next turn, we'll probably crack 10 with Fermenter, but we might not. We might just try and live down here on little credits and Gourmand. We want an Audrey, but it's actually not that important. Best draws would be the last Lagu or the Solidarity Badge. It's just like so game winning if you find it. Particularly if this is an Oppo deck, and we have not seen enough of her influence, and Ayuko has no counters. So let's see what happens. We still have 3 pinholes, which helps a heck of a lot. All right, we're icing something with 2 cohorts out. We're not icing something. Just purging. Cool. So now we can just click for 3. Second Fermenter is really greedy. I think we just install Simulchip, click for 3. I don't care. We don't touch. If she doesn't do anything, we don't do anything. We actually don't need that much money. I'm happy that she purged there. The cool thing with the Botulus on Anemone is like she can't really purge us out. Worst case here is we're Genesis and Archives, but we might check Archives. On 3 credits, we could get hit another enemy. It's a Wage Workers. Okay. I really like when my corporation reses the Wage Workers to show us what this is. Just paying 2 credits here for a click doesn't seem that good. And now we have full information what's on the remote server. I hate resing Wage Workers on the turn that you install it, unless the board state's cooked. Oh, it's Planogram. Okay, so this is an Oppo research version. So we don't have to deal with this. Server 2 is an agenda. Server 7 could be the powers that be. Do the decks play Wage Workers and Oppo? So maybe Planogram's just in the deck. I don't know what this is. We'll check. But we don't have to deal with the Wage Workers if we deal with the table. So it looks like we got 2 Spin Doctors for 1 click. I mean, what a life. 2 Unseens? Sometimes you don't do that. Like you res and trash this Spin Doctor, trash the Spin Doctor, and use that Spin Doctor. But if we have 2 Spin Doctors out here, we're in a good spot. There was 2 cohorts out and then 2 unknowns, so we're probably agendas. So the Wage Workers only matters if this is a 4-2. Which is such a good little guy food, though. Yeah, we'll feed him at some point, but we want our thing that eats first. So the incentive to run this is it could be a 4-2, like a tempo, see how they run, but I don't think that's that bad for us. Do we have access to a Botulus? We don't. That was a misclick. How do you undo that? How do you undo that? I don't want to do this. Can you undo an action without... This is going to undo everything. Oh my god, so sorry. They can't afford to res all this ice. Yeah, but a single enemy gives her Ayuko counters. Yeah, I clicked on the Spamship and there's no way to undo that, I don't think. Unless I don't know how to. Like, if she reses anything else besides an enemy, we're happy. If it's a Diviner, not the most happy, but not unhappy. If it's a site, what's it called? A Sama or a Botulus, we're super, super happy. Close prompt to reinstall manually, I imagine. Yeah, that's probably better. Reinstall manually. Yeah, this is way more clicks for our opponent. This was not a smart idea. We should have just fixed it manually. Break my draw. Oh, yeah, that was random. So sorry. Should have fixed that manually. Hopefully it's better. Yeah, that's really, really bad. Yeah, the second spin draw is cooked. Because it's random. Sorry. Yeah, that sucks. That's on me. We'll just undo it enough times until she draws the same cards. Embarrassing. Let's go get an agenda in server 2, I guess. Let's see. And that means the worst case. Scatterfield. Oh, that's fine. We could simulchip this? Game loss? Kind of. So we could like simulchip the botches on this to get the agenda. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. We're not gonna need the simulchip for much else. She can install a card from HQ. 2 game losses. And we can even take down the wage workers on 1 credit, no problem. We won't use the Gourmand, we'll use the Fencer, I'm assuming. That's a good card to put the server in. You could res a FUD here to do some damage. It is the Reaper function. Well, damn. I was convinced that was an agenda. So we'll just take down everything. The enemy we don't want to let fire. We could run HQ here last click. We're doing good. Caleb, how you doing? We'll Gourmand that, draw a card. Okay. I mean, I don't have a real reason to install the Devil Charm. We can install the Fermenter. Whatever. Probably the Devil Charm was actually strictly better. Oh, it's a Bladderwort. Good install. Really good install there. No money to protect wage from little guy. Little guy eats. That was probably the best install there. It was unlikely to be a cohort. So I guess she's getting a counter unless we draw a pinhole. I'll pinhole this. Maybe she oppos us, but I don't think it's a good oppo. Okay. We haven't seen a single agenda. Price is fine. Illumination go ham. I mean, I don't want to. You get all these cards out of your hand that we don't want to install in the matchup, and then you like touch a bite and lose the game. Lunari, how you doing? We need to get down the Bladderwort. We'll price. We'll get a Botulus. We have it. It's Gachapon, Chisel, Botulus. We'll just Botulus this. Okay. We'll run down the Bladderwort. We can leave server 6. In theory, we should run Archives so we don't die to Regenesis or lose to Regenesis. So order here might not be right. On 0 points, we actually have to be careful running Archives because this could be a moon pool and she could feed us like, I guess the most amount of damage she could feed us is 4 damage. So maybe that's not the worst. Okay. I think we just draw and then dump our credit into Hoshiko. This is perfect. I was going to install the Devil Charm. Okay, not another buffer drive. Sorry, Bladderwort. Her servers don't do anything. She can't really purge because she can't push. That's fine. I don't think this purge is that bad for us. Again, she's the same board state. Oh, we drew the badge. That's so good. I think we just drew draw, install badge, click for 2. Cool. Like as soon as you purge, allows us to Hoshiko flip. And it's not like we need the Fermenter credits anyways. Like our deck does not have sure gamble, right? Like Fencer, Fueno, but Paladin, they're getting credits every turn. If you had drawn that earlier, you could have taken the damage from an enemy instead of using Botulus. I don't want to take the damage from an enemy because it gives Ayuko the counter, right? Like we're just trying to starve Ayuko of like plays like this. That is a cool thing about purging though. It gives her more cards in hand so she can put 3. It's not about losing the card from hand. It's about giving Ayuko that second counter, which is so valuable. FUT and a push. So FUT has to go down. This might be a small Fermenter turn. Oh, it's cool that she purges and then sets up like a big push all at once. But I think we can run just about all of it. Oh, no. Okay, we have 1 credit to trash with. So I think we take Fermenter, we run 2, we run 8. She is trying to kill us if she's on a Reaper. We'll break all of it. She only has 2 cards in hand, 2 credits. It's a cohort. We trash that. Server 8. Not sure what it can be. It might just be an agenda on the table. Ladder word. Okay, good. Just trash everything. We got our badge. We're going to get a free draw. If she oppos, we clear 1 tag for free. We're still at threat 0. Her hand has to be all agendas, but like we're not incentivized to try and win the game. We are incentivized to just push forward. Look at all these start of turn triggers. Yeah, okay. All right, Bling. I don't even know if we install it. We don't know what this is. I think this is a fine turn to just check archives first click. It'll give us a paladin credit. Yeah, that was a big trigger list. So the deck's on 2 Reapers, 2 Wage Workers, a front company. So this is a strange version of it. It might not be on Oppo. We've spent 4 influence on Wage Workers. Predictive, though, makes me think it's Oppo. Powers is also influence. Server 6 is a Moon Pool or an agenda. We've touched cards, so we have a Hoshiko issue. I don't actually think it's that important to install Twinning. I honestly think Blink is that good. It is gives you card draw, but I don't think it's exactly what we want here. Do we just click 3? We probably install something. We install the Chisel and HQ Ice. That's probably fine. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Because we could do like Devil Charm, run it down. She has no counters though. If we click for a credit, we lose it with Hoshiko, so we don't have to do that. If we click for a credit, it's like straight wrong. If we run HQ, we're probably taking agendas. Spend the Hosh credit. Yeah, I wanted to spend the Hosh credit. In theory, we shouldn't have used the Paladin there. The Paladin was wrong because I didn't plan the turnout. Yeah, let's fix that. We haven't learned anything. So in theory, we want to install. What did we do? We install Chisel. Wait, this is hurting my head. So we want to install Chisel Devil Charm. We have exactly 3 credits. So we do credit. Yeah, this is what we do, I guess. Yeah, this is better. So we use none of those. No, we use one of these. That's better. Cool. So we don't lose the Hoshiko credit because start of our turn, we lose a credit because we've touched a card. Cool. Just finished teaching a friend Netrunner for the first time. How'd it go? Did you start with like Zaya against BTL or PD? I feel like I haven't taught someone Netrunner in a really long time. Besides, like, I guess the stream? Petty cash, okay. She has money. She's drawing. Server 6 is still chilling. I'm not too worried about an agenda in there. And she has a lot of cards in hand. We can kind of push them down. Okay, Fermenter. So we could get purged out, which is fine. We have no MU, which is fine, but our MU will open up soon. We can install the Twinning and start to see more cards. I don't think it's a huge priority because HQ will be open. I think we just run HQ like 4 times here. This ice will get destroyed no matter what. Probably can't res it unless it's an anemone. It's an anemone. Cool. She can discard an agenda, so we can watch out. Could have touched an HQ card though. Yeah, we could have, but doing a last click is a bit dodgy. I don't know if she had bite credits, but running last click and hitting a bite costs us the game, so we want to avoid running last click. Ashton will put on the bottom. Yeah. I guess we'll double charm this. They're not super valuable in the matchup. Ayuko now has counters. We should touch an agenda here. Plaza. We can use our fencer credits here, which is fine. If we steal an agenda, we'll have more fencer credits. It doesn't have text anymore. We'll keep going. Paladin might be angry. Hybrid, okay. So Paladin's angry. She has Ayuko. We have 4 cards in hand. Feel like price should have gone. I think we wanted to put the one on the bottom of the deck that we might actually play. Right? Like the Ashen? Because we had to pick which one goes to the bottom of the deck. If we run back and hit a bite, she has no money, but she could planogram. We might die to that. We could just install Fermenter, run again. There's like, we're in such a good spot that we don't have to risk it. Because if we hit a bite, we're on 0. She does planogram to end the line, we lose. We don't need to do that. So I think the safer line here is just draw install Fermenter off of Paladin. Like, it's a bummer, but I don't know what else we do there. Elevation learn to play decks make for a good teaching experience. What are the elevation learn to play decks? Like the ones that NSG put out? Matt, how's it going, by the way? Think of this matchup, Asham as bottom card is fine. Yeah, it's fine. We'll play it when we get there. She has 6 credits. I still don't know what she's spending all her influence on. Server 6 looks like an agenda or a moon pool. She's building a new server. HQ is going to be open. We need to check archives so we don't get hit. And with the steel skin in hand, we can be a bit riskier. Okay. Card. This list. Whenever clicking before credits is correct play, we should definitely touch a bit of cards to put some pressure on. Because we don't actually need money, right? Like clicking for 4 is useless when we have a fermenter. We can click for 8. Oh my god, so goofy. Okay. We're gonna probably need the Gourmand this turn. I'm gonna ask for action in case she wants to purge, but I don't think she has a Mav. Some of the lists are running 1 Mav, which is cool. Running into ice is a bit scary, but we've seen 2 in enemies. So what can we do here? I think we want to run Archives more than we run the table. I don't think there's an agenda on the table we're really scared of. The only card we're scared of is Regenesis, and we diffuse that by running Archives, unless there's also a Moon Pool. But then it has to be in hand. Oh, the NSG one's from the cons. Okay, cool. You must choose. I think if you hit Hosh, Solidarity, and the rest resolve automatically. Yeah, but this is way more fun. This is why you play in paper and you miss all your triggers. You got to hit all your triggers on JNet. Not saying that you do, but people do. Okay, thinking. So what are we doing here? How do we diffuse this situation? I don't want to face checking the ice. She could res a boat too. It's not that bad for us. She has 1 counter, so she can easily get 2. What are we missing on the table? We've seen 2 Bladder Warts. We've seen 2 Reaper Functions. We've seen 2 Futs. A single cohort. No, I do. I think we should check Archives first and see what happens. Because this might force out a Moon Pool. Or spin, and then there's a lot fewer servers to run. Yeah, there you go. Forces out a Moon Pool. So we'll see where the advancements go, because then we can follow the advancements. Just ask the Montreal judge about my wake. It's a force trigger. Blend the Water's back. Okay, that makes sense. If she's on Double Reaper, she's probably on Blend the Water, which means she's also probably on Snare. Front company in the bin. Okay. So Blend the Water and Powers goes back. This card has a single advancement. We have no way of breaking ice unless we install the Gachapon, and Gachapon hits one of our Simulchips. It can't, or our last Botulus, which it could. Mentor first. We don't care about the credits. The credits are not actually that important. Like 3 on Paladin, 2 on Fencer will get us far enough. These credits are break for emergency. The cookbook would have been good. So maybe we do Gachapon run server 6. Moonpool can advance anything. I read that as bait. Oh yeah, you're right. It can. It can definitely advance anything. Maybe you're right. But this card reads like an agenda. It's been on the table for a bit. Maybe she does Table Bite. I don't know. Table Bite she can't afford. So I think we should... Oh wait, she's on 3 credits. We can just run this. Who cares, right? Yeah, I don't care anymore. Like if she reses ice, she can't score. Fermenter so you can play the Gourmand. I would trash the Fermenter. I don't know. Like a click for 10 credits seems good, but we honestly don't need that much. If we play the crack the Fermenter though, we don't need the Gourmand. It's a Powers, okay. So we can't trash that. So we should just check server 9. And then run HQ. Fly Swatter would be sad, yeah. But then she can't score out. It's a Samat, we'll fire it. So we do the damage to ourselves. She does not do the damage. So we I've overestimated how much stamina I've recovered from being oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry to hear. Hopefully you're feeling better soon. No stress if you need a fail. Yeah, she might just call it there, I reckon. The longevity will take it. We have a Paladin issue, we have a Fencer issue. We could run back and deal with this thing because it eats our Fencer, but we can't pay 1 for Fencer. Feel like I need to play fast. Paladin can go. Yeah, hey, no stress. GG. All right, from there, we just close out the game. Like, all the agendas are left in these 21 cards. It shouldn't be that hard to close the game out. But again, systematically, we can deal with the board. Feel better. Hey, feel better, eh? Thanks for the game. Thanks for the game. Paladin is pregnant. Yeah, I think we let this Paladin out into the wild again. Fencer, we want to keep around. It's much more important in the matchup at this point. There's not that many other cards we're installing with Paladin, but Paladin's been really, really good. But again, I think our opponent, she purged a fair bit. Yeah, we don't need the money. It turns out we don't actually need that money. We would probably crack a fermenter for 10 next turn or this turn. But I don't know. We have to deal with these guys. They're an issue. There's only 4 games tonight. Oh, okay. Let's do one more and then we'll do some news. It's only 10:30. Kosioski. Kosioski. Taya. Again. What's the chance of that? Okay, this hand has Steel Skin, which is fine. Simulchipping and Cookbook is fine. Early Botchless is good. But again, a lot of the Taya Ice, like Botchless, is kind of poorly. This hand's not bad, though. We'll probably play this Steel Skin. It's weird because this deck doesn't have raindrops. It doesn't have any good reasons to run. Like, it doesn't have Leech, it doesn't have raindrops. So we're running for singles unless we're Gourmanding. Our opponent kept. I think we can keep this hand. I imagine worse. Wow, how much daylight saving shifts thing? This is 1 hour and then, yeah, everything's cooked. Thanks, you too. Really interesting dissection of the matchup. Was surprised to see twinning never installed. Yeah, this is a really big thing that happens against assets a fair bit. Is a lot of times people struggle against assets because they try and play their game plan. A lot of times you don't want to play your game plan. Your game plan is make the corporation lose. Their win condition is attached to cards that have trash costs on them. So if you just deal with the table and deal with the trash costs, they eventually die. And so very commonly, if your deck has a good economy and you can keep up, I will just play the table, just trash their cards, not having to pivot to the win condition. If things get really out of hand, yeah, send the finality. Who cares? Send the twinning, put down the Ero. But most of the time when you have like Anarch click compression of running and touching things with Hoshiko, and or you have, you know, Solidarity Badge and you have Fencer Fueno, just trash their stuff. And then if they don't have stuff, they collapse on themselves. Specifically, Egg is really good at collapsing on itself because if Egg does fire, eventually they get flooded. And if Egg doesn't fire, they don't have an ID text if you're trashing their stuff. So just keep that in mind. A lot of times against assets, I will not play their game plan. Sorry, my game plan. I will play their game plan and try and beat their game plan by their means. Usually you can do it if you have a well-oiled deck and you don't draw like ass. Okay, so double ice, no archives. So we can't run to get Hoshiko. I don't love playing Steelskin. I'm running an old version of this deck. It'll be fun. Okay. Did we say good luck and fun? Oh, by the way. Best of luck to you too. Gotta say that. Okay, so I don't love playing Steelskin on click 1, but I guess we do. I love holding this. Every turn we draw Illumination, don't play it. So like Cookbook into Botchless is like okay. It really shows where we're coming from, so I don't love it. We could just do Cookbook, Gourmand, Simulchip, and chill. We don't really have credits to talk about, but what can you do? Maybe we should have mulliganed. I don't know. Opening Paladin seems good. Opening Fermenter seems good. I wonder how old this deck is. They start like resing Ichis and they got food in it. Botchless Illumination to Gourmand, Gourmand Simulchip. Die to Bite, die to Fuji. Like, it's just not great. I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe I should be playing this more. But like, I don't want to set up all these cards at once. Like, a lot of these cards are board state contextual, right? Like, Botchless is kind of contextual on board state. Maybe that's me. I don't know. It's really good when you have companions, though, because all the companions you want to install at the beginning of the game. And they're really, really cheap. Oh, my skin's getting so dry. It is that time of year. Gotta stay moisturized. All right, double install a Taya. Get the 2 installs. Botch was always great IMO. I don't know. I like to install on ice that's rezzed. I like to pin down the remote server. I don't like just putting on centrals because they just overinstall with another piece of ice. Maybe that's a good enough trade. If it's a what's it called? A Tattoo Bola, they don't care. If it's a Samasa Moon, they don't care. If it's a white space, they only sort of care. Not a white space, a fly swatter, they kind of care. I cannot make a read of this board state. I'm going to ignore it. If anything, we run HQ here. They only have 5 credits. This is where I love the steel skin. I never like playing it because I want to face check with it. Because face check into a Saisentan, we could lose the game. With a steel skin, we're like kind of good. We don't have credits. This is all our money? I can't do that. No matter what, it's all... Wait, we have no money. We probably shouldn't have kept this hand. I don't know. If they score a 3-2 on the table, okay. The only thing on the table we really care about here is a Regolith. For Regolith sticks, we lose. You're gone. Price, Devil Charm, Paladin. Gourmand will take the Paladin in a snap. We touch with Hoshiko, which is really good. We could face check. With Simulchipping on board, I'm happier about the Blind Botulus. Yeah, you're right about that. You're definitely okay with that, especially with the cookbook as well. Like, we don't care. We're just moving it around. So Cohort is okay. We could run last click, but we can't even trash the cards we want to crash. So I'll just click for credit, I guess. Deal face scarring. There was another FFG card for the new Arkham core set that mentioned no that mentions I've had worse in it, which like it happens all the time. I don't know if that's still at this point a Netrunner joke or not, because it's even an Arkham joke. But there's like a card of somebody who's like totally bloodied. Oh, I guess we get to see this card. And it says like, you know, I've had worse, which is what old steel skin used to be called. So Makoto Atea is kind of sick, right? I'm assuming it's sick. Okay, 2 Gourmands in the bin. Atea can do something. The Regolith probably just gets run down. So 2 ice. We could just pinhole this and say that's everything. It's a front company. Oh, neat. Neat. I was going to pinhole archives. So the first run can't be against remote servers. So we have to run centrals. The thing is they don't have a lot of money, so I'm not too concerned about it, I don't think. So I think we can just run R&D. If they res, they can't res this ice. We could install the Botulus. Yeah, we probably do. Because we have the Simulchip and the cookbook. So let's see what happens here. I don't think we have to deal with the front company. We have to deal with the Regolith. So we have to click for credit, run Regolith. Oh, he's going to pinhole at some point. Maybe this is bad because we don't have money to afford this. We can't let them have the Regolith. It's so game losing. If anything, the heck? Wave? Okay, they have a card in hand. That's good. That's not real ice. Yeah, the front company costs 4 to trash. They have a bloop? Why not illuminate this? Because I want our credits to pinhole the Regolith. I can't afford this. Don't have a credit. They have a bloop now? It's a Makoto. I mean, I'm not trashing that. You Gourmand Rego? Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, maybe we still do it. I think we definitely still do it. We do Gourmand pinhole. Yeah, maybe that was better. We would die to like a bite, I think. Maybe we don't always have to play around it. How worried are we about bloop? I'm not too familiar with the Lion King. Okay, their money's dead. We didn't get the fermenter down, which hurts. Pinhole archives? I'm not going to fall into that trap. This card has text. I don't understand what this text means. The first time each turn to run archives begins if this server is not protected by ice, do 2 net damage. That sentence is so confusing to me. I assumed this server was the front company server. It means archives. That doesn't make any sense to me. The first time you turn to run archives begin if this server is not protected. It shouldn't be this server. It should be if that server is not protected, right? Why is it if this server? Who's with me? I don't get it. Because it cares about archives being iced, not front company. So frustrating. It's a political? Wait, so it does? Can we run archives? What does this server mean? I clearly don't know what this card does. Okay, so we could have just ran archives. Okay, good to know. I didn't know that. Okay, so hey Eric, how's it going? It is political. So if this server is not protected, do 2 net. Okay, so it's fine. We can run archives. You silly boy, I'm full circle. I knew that I knew this card was wrong, so I assumed it was wrong, and it's right. This card doesn't do anything. We won't touch for Hoshiko. The card refers to itself. That makes sense. That was my diatribe, my polemic. It was about how this should mean itself, and it does. That's good. Okay, so I think we just do Illumination. Dodging the Hosh credit. I mean, we did a bad job. Yeah, that one. So this could be a bloop. If the bloop ends up on this server, I don't think we care. So we Illumination pop off. We install Devilchime Fermenter Simulchip. We won't install the Bling because we'll just trash all the cards. Wait, do I have to install the Bling legally? Chat, do I have to Illumination install the Bling or no? Do I legally have to install the Bling? Because I want to just do Fermenter Devilchime Simulchip. We'll draw once to not die to Fuji. These are also free. You have to? I have to install it. Legally, okay? I mean, I trust you. Y'all know how Front Company works. All right, we're doing it. So this is what you can do. This is where it's meant to be good. This is where you die to a bite. So we're going to install Bling with the Paladin. And now we can install these cards cheaper. So we'll install the Fermenter, which gets a counter. It gets a Blink. Blink has a strike fund. It doesn't fire because it doesn't, discarding it does not trash it from hand. We'll install, I think, the Simulchip now. We want to get our cost reductions. We get a buffer drive. You access bloop. Yeah, wait, this is bad. We're gonna lose buffer drive. Why would you legally have to install it? Because of the combo. It's the wrong choice, but legally you have to. Yeah, y'all, it was really bad. Because now we're gonna lose the buffer drive because we can't play the strike fund. And they have another bloop, which is fine as long as we only run our R&D. Click Fermenter, lol. I mean, maybe that's right. Maybe we click Fermenter buffer drive and then Simulchip the Fermenter. Is buffer drive that important? It might be. It might be. I hate this. This does not get discarded from hand, so it doesn't. And we have 1 credit. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. They have 2 bloops. Unknown card. We might have wanted to Simulchip right there. But with the Botchos on the wave, I don't think we're too precious about it. The deck has all the Fermenters, right? Yeah, so we'll be fine. Yeah, we should have chipped right away, I think, because we would have came in with a 3 counter. But we'll find something with Botchos. We'll be fine. Maybe there. No, it's okay. I think it's okay. I think in hindsight, I did miss it. And it is important. But on hindsight, in forward sight, we'll be okay. I just think of it like the Fermenter install from the Bling was a 0 credit buffer drive. Yeah, but it cost a click. I mean, you're right. But also, the second Blink trigger was greedy. Yeah, but it was like, it was law. It was the law. Okay, so we're not going to run this turn. Yes, we have a Steelskin Scarring. Hey, hey, y'all. I kind of don't like this Bling all the time. That sucks. That's just not good. No, there's no word for forward sight. I don't hate it. I don't know if we pay a credit to draw 3. Maybe we do, actually. You have bad luck with Blink and Topon. I have good Topon luck. I mean, I guess. Yeah, that worked out okay. I guess we do Gachapon. Credit Strike Fund Steelskin. I think I'm just going to do the one of them because I don't want more money. If we didn't draw the Fermenter, maybe we do it. But yeah, then we should have done the other order. Yeah, you're right. Because if we play the Strike Fund, we can play the Steelskin. If we play this other one, we can't. I really don't like Steelskin Strike Fund not triggering. Off of the Bling, it does seem weird. Seems counterintuitive. Forward sight is just sight, and backward sight is the giz. Inverse hindsight. Yeah, that's it. Reverse forward sight. No, reverse hindsight. All right, they drew, then they installed. Sick. That's really good. That's what you want to be doing. You don't want to install then draw. They're grinding. Could be Lacosta. We saw that they drew a Makota, so it could just be a second Makota. I'm not sure the text on Makota is probably not doing anything. Inverse hindsight is no. There's no word for it. No, there's no word. What are you talking? They can't make a word for that. We'll fire the Gachapon here. Hope for the best. Audrey. Oh no, we can't install Audrey. Shouldn't have hit that button. That was bad reverse hindsight. That was really bad reverse hindsight. Okay, Twinning's going back in. Solidarity badge is not that important. Audrey's going back in. Pinhole's going back in. Install Paladin off of Blink? Oh yeah, we could have. We might as well, because it fires the Blink for 0. Yeah, you're right. We lost a card draw there. We might as well have done it. Because it was free. I thought we installed for 1. Yeah, that's not right. Sorry. It's fine. Whatever. We lose a card draw. It's on us. But yeah, we should have done that. I think I'm falling for the bit. What bit? Okay, so running archives at a minimum is pretty good here. This could be the bloop, which is annoying. There's no way around it. We definitely want to Devil Charm it, so we could crack. We can let this wave fire. Like, it doesn't matter. An RFG is 1 additional card. That I don't care about. Thinning the deck is fine. Like, removing the Paladin from the deck was okay, but we would have removed it anyways if we installed it. So it's whatever. Like, it's the same outcome, right? Now our deck is thinner when we Ash in. We also shuffled our deck, so the thing is not on the bottom. We need to find an Audrey. We need to start trashing cards. They're not scoring, so they have to have agendas in hand, but I'm worried because they're playing some amount of weird harmonics. They're also playing core damage. Are they on Zato? Why are they playing bloop? It's hard for us to deal with, right? Okay, I gotta think. We want a Twinning. We might crack the Fermenter. This is fine. We have all the Simulchips in the world. We're pretty sure this is a bloop, which costs them functionally like 5 credits. Because they have to res it for, I think, 3, and then wave is 2 more. But we just want chisels. We have every chisel still in the deck. So I think we do draw, we run archives. Another Fermenter is a bit greedy. They could consider purging, so maybe we just do the Devil Charm. They're on Zato, if they're on Makota. Oh, so true, Kevin. So wise. Notice how we didn't take net damage running archives. That's good. Don't get blooped. It's not that bad. We just Simulchip for a Botulus, and we like. What are the 3 subroutines? Core damage, trash program, trash program. Mitra bloop. Mitra bloop is neat. I don't know what their agenda suite is. I have very little read on their deck. But the Devil Charm is good. We don't have access to Audrey for cookbook reasons, so we'll get there. We definitely should have been firing Blink. Drawing more cards would be good for us. We also can remember that we can just fire Simulchip to draw off of Blink functionally. It did not. Because you iced it up, it doesn't have archives text. I think they're learning about the interaction that I had to learn about. Yeah. Get the extra kick if you don't ice them up. This feels like a Stegodon. Emotionally, yeah. 95% Sisyphus, Solomir. Why would you give such a just a awful forecast on this fine evening? 95% chance of Sisyphus. Yeah, you and me both. You, me, and both? I mean, yo, longevity? Longevity, points. All the hedge funds? Trash 2, shuffle the back. Okay, we talked about their hand being cooked. Maybe not so much anymore. They're just happy scoring 3-2s. We've learned nothing about their list besides maybe on more 3-2s. They shuffled back 2 Unseen and a Rego. Okay. I just clicked start a turn. Should have thought about it a bit. Okay. So there's a card called Shiro that highlights yellow whenever Hosh's name. It's been like that for a long time. It's not everywhere. Actually, I think like they fixed it. But yeah, on this case, it shows you Shiro, which was a card from Honor and Profit. It was never played. It's not very good. Numbers on it seem good, but it's not. It's been like that for a long time. It's not all the time. It's only at the end of turn, I think, for some reason. It's only when she's flipped. Oh, very cool. That's it. Because you see it all the time. I never sure when or you did or didn't. All right, thinking we probably should try and win. We have no multi-access, so we probably should set that up. It's do a core. I don't care. Trash installed program, trash installed program. We care about that a bit more. Start Gachapon Blink. Yeah, I think we do, and see what we draw here. We want to find a bunch of stuff. Fencer. We can install Fencer to draw a card functionally. This might be a hit of Fermenter. Like, this draws, why not? Steel Skin, I hate this. Gacha for Audrey, maybe run HQ. Yeah, I could see it. I think they got the 2 agendas at HQ, so I'm not in love with the idea. We'll have enough counters to like deal with most of Blue. Blue having 3 relevant subroutines is really annoying for both Botulus and Audrey. I think we just like chill this turn. I think we generally just chill. Maybe we draw once. Do we play the Steel Skin? I don't think we do. I think we draw once for maybe they purge next turn. Bye. That's not what a Mulch-like does. Was considering trying to blink again, but that would maybe reconsider it. Hey, Lloyd. We'll Gachapon on their turn. We're looking either for a twinning or we're looking for the Audrey. Both will be fine. They purged. Okay, we're happy with that. We're on 1 credit, so we can actually fire this. Ashen, Blink, Chisel, Devil Charm, Gachapon. So it's a Chisel. So that means we can challenge the Bloop on R&D. And if they don't res anything besides this, Blink, sure. Twinning, found it. So Ashen goes back for sure. Devil Charm goes back for sure. Pinhole goes back for sure, I think. That's fine. Yeah, it was a good purge from them. Shame we don't need credits. So on 1 credit, I think we can just run this down. We want to burst of credits. We can play Strike Fund for 3. That means we can trash cards. I'm okay with that idea. I guess we do Strike Fund twinning run, but we charge the twinning this turn. I think we want to see a double if we see a double. Like if we see a single, we should see a double, excuse me. So I'm assuming this is a bloop that we chisel and just destroy it. So we need to play this twinning for sure. So we can Strike Fund it. We can install it for 2 and not fire it, or 3 and fire it. I think we do 2 and not fire it, because I don't think we have an easy fire this turn. 2 Strike Funds. I want to make sure we're accessing with enough cards to not bite. Probably better off using FUT than Front Company when playing bad. Okay. Yeah, maybe. It's still annoying though. Yeah, I'll just install this for 2. I think we're okay with it. We might not get a trigger this turn. I don't think they can res the bloop here. In fact, I don't think they can res any ice. Three run, then chip charge at the end of the turn. Yeah, maybe we should. Maybe I'm trying to keep our hand full for no reason. Well, we could have, yeah, just installed this Simulchip. Yeah, you're right. It's probably fine. We're going to install them anyways. I just don't like passing my turn on 3 cards in hand, but there's no reason we shouldn't. Yeah, okay. So the ice is not doing anything. No, thanks for asking. Just a single, keep them honest. We know that there's 2 more agendas in the deck. White space, okay. Honestly annoying, but that's fine. This is where we install the Simulchip. So Hoshiko touched a card, that's good. We missed our twinning counter, we'll just draw. Good. Respecting AU code too much? Yeah, I am. But I do think our opponent like might just be on bites. Like anytime that you see something that's like kind of off meta, it might be like a new player from kitchen table, anything like that. And bites just show up in those decks. And that's like the easiest way that we lose a game that we're winning, is by just like not respecting a bite and then dying to something weird. So I'll try and not do that. We also now have this chisel on this ice, so the Simulchip at any point can run the server down. So we'll run this server. If they res a Makoto, we don't care. We have 2 Simulchips, we can just easily take the server down. They don't have that much money to cash in. The Makoto res is free, which is kind of cool. We would love an Gourmand that could deal with the protected card, but it might just be an agenda here, especially if they advance. We have all 3 Gourmands in the bin, so it comes down to how do we want to use our Simulchips before we Ashen. If I would draw, this deck doesn't need money once it's set up. Yeah. And our fermenters, like, it's the same thing where I'm never going to purge our fermenters. They really need to use this server. Maybe they'll push here with that Spin Doctor, because this server is a lot for very little. Front Company has text though. Yeah, we have to run centrals first. So we'll always just run R&D, then run the remote if we have to. Like, we crack a fermenter just so we can use the Simulchip without cost. But yeah, they're only on 5 credits here. We haven't seen a Hansei. We've seen 1 hedge fund. They put a Rego back. We can always just like pinhole to sniff out a new card if we don't want to commit. But here we know the whole board. We're pretty sure it's Makoto spin, Makoto front. So like we don't have to do anything besides touch R&D or probably touch HQ here. Broko's basically making a Tay into Texas Earth Station. I mean, I would say restoring humanity. Sorry, replicating perfection. But I think that's just an age difference between the 2 of us. Can we force HQ? Yeah, we totally can. And we will. I think we just do fermenter, botchless HQ run. If it's another, yeah, we'll be fine. Did we need a fermenter actually? No, we didn't. We know they have a white space. It's probably on the remote server. Yeah, I think we just run it. We have 2 creds and fencer, should be good. Replicating humanity. Restoring perfect. There's a booming, no, my little friend, no. That's pretty good. Okay, we'll simulchip it back this turn. So we'll hopefully see if they res and then we can pin it. Do we need to install botchos? Yeah, I want to. It's like one of the easier ways to fire this, and we want to pin down HQ. Okay. They really care about core damage. We could have trashed this botchless to cause us to like have to use a simulchip. We'll see 2 here, 1 off of R&D. White space, knew that. Bloop, knew that. Oh, that's annoying. Now we can run R&D. If they res the bloop, which they might, we just immediately grab our chisel and do the same thing. Because Simulchip is free this turn. It'll fire the bling too. Feels like this deck wants to be grinded prison. It's a bit of both, yeah. Maybe they're on Blood in the Water. I don't know. We haven't seen anything. Maybe you're right with core damage they do, but they clearly want to hurt us. Come on, res a bloop. Nah, they won't. Unless I shouldn't have hit continued movement. Because I thought they passed priority. I need to watch the chat. Because now if they res it, it's really annoying with Simulchip. We did the runs in the wrong order. Running RD for chisel value was better. I want to flush HQ after the spin doctor draw. So that's the way I see it. Maybe you're right. Proxying eventually maybe all of effigy Netrunner, and it feels like getting a billion new cards. Oh man, there's some good stuff. Oh, they're considering it. I pass priority. If you res, I'll do something maybe. Can you define what you mean by prison? They just want to get you in a situation where they just try and grind you down, build big old servers, make you not be able to run. I don't know. Maybe do some sort of like loop Brasilia stuff. I don't know. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so they're thinking. So I'm pretty sure this has to be the bloop. We've seen 2 so far. One was drawn off wave, one was drawn off of R&D. No res. Okay, cool. We got to see a single. So we're asking. We could give them a credit, but like this botchless counter doesn't matter. Prison's anything I don't like? Yeah, you said it. Okay, we'll put the Simulchip on the bottom. So we got points. Fencer, she is angry. So here we're on 3 cards in hand. The top of R&D is unknown. Simulchip is alive and ready, but it's not a big deal. We can draw and pay 1 for Fencer. We have no way to duck Hosh. We've done the twinning. I really wish Jane had tapped cards that have once per turns. It would be so cool. That's fine. Fencer. I don't actually think we pay for Fencer. Charge remote too. I don't think it really matters. Like this server doesn't care. I'd rather them trash this stuff. They have 8 credits because they get 2 from Makota. Like I don't care. I think we actually trash Fencer. Maybe it's wrong. I'm gonna pay for Fencer. We have fermenters. I'll pay for Fencer. Prison often are decks where they don't try to proactively win, but slowly put the opponent into a no-win state. Slowly, you're stuck in a slow game, unable to do anything and feel incarcerated. Yes, and that's come in a lot of different ways. There's like Prison Grinder, where it's like recurring assets and doing chip damage to you until you're out. We've had full Prison Damage Grinder, where like PU, where their game is to make you run out of cards. They don't proactively try and win the game. It's also a term that people use against things they don't like, usually slow decks. Sandman on Expert Marvel Champions? Oh man, I like that one. I really like Sandman. On Expert, he's harder than I think he is, though. I do think I forget to fire his ability to take twice at the beginning of the game. Can Fencers help with Simulchip costs? Theoretically, no. Because there's no window when the run is successful that you can crack the Simulchip. There's other ways to do it, though, like if you can install things when the run's considered successful, like Biobands and Illumination, but you can't Simulchip during the successful run trigger because there's no paid abilities there besides access abilities. Yeah. Door-to-door making news prison. Yeah, Aryabhata tech stuff. Museum. All right, they spin doctored after they mandoed? Yes. Hedge fund, hedge fund. Their money is not doing well for them. There's 5 ice on the remotes that haven't mattered. Second spin, okay, so now HQ pressure matters. Both of these servers can be challenged pretty easily. Oh, ganked is bad. Yeah, they actually probably are on ganked if they're on bloop. I think that is something we should watch out for. Ganked bloop makes sense. Oh, you're right. You can use Fencer during the ganked encounter because it runs successful. That's really cool. Are you just asking the volatile questions to help Andre's engagement? I mean, I appreciate it. What can you tell me about this? Sure, gamble. I beat Venom with Nightcrawler. It's a fun campaign so far. Nightcrawler got this cracked card from the new Civil War. If you have that, Joel, I think it's like the perfect card for him. Okay, so the board state didn't really change, but ice is on archives. There could be agendas in there, considering the way that the game's been going. And the spin doctrine, 2 face downs. Should we count influence? I mean, yeah, but I'm not getting too much out of it. Like, we've seen 2 spin doctors, Boomy, Wave. Blue can't be that much, right? It's like, what, 2? Usually these synergistic packages are not high influence so that you can consider playing them. Bloop is 2, so we've seen 4, 5, we've seen 7 influence. Pinhole, Fencer, Trash, Froco. Pinhole, Fencer, Trash, Froco. I don't care about this Froco. I really don't. It doesn't matter. Like, I maybe eventually will, but it doesn't seem like it matters. So I'm not super into it. I think their agendas are in archives. It seems like they're playing super, super slow. I'm really worried about this Fencer. That's the worst part about this. We paid 1 for her, so now we really feel like we should keep her around. I think we can run HQ. Double. Unload the whale. I don't know. We just let the whale go. This is a connection, so you can't paladin it. I think at World Stream, the paladin installed something it shouldn't. I don't know if it was caught. I remember seeing a game where it's like, oh, that's not good. Pinhole forces a spin dock pop. I'm like, barely? The thing is like, I don't know. If anything, we trash the Makota. Pinhole to force a spin. Let's see if they do it. I'm down to see if they do it. But I'm not trashing the front company. I'm trashing the Makota. Use the gank with no ice. Yeah, actually, I do think this is a second Makota though. But yeah, I'll touch this Makota. So we'll break. I'm gonna keep his digital. Trash server one upgrade. Yeah, I agree. Tay is surely a good Fencer matchup. I don't know. We haven't been running the server. Maybe they just give us a spin. No, I can't. I can't. I have to access one of your installed cards in a remote. So your spin or the other 3, yeah. You have to decide to crack the spin now before. I'm not gonna tell them I don't have no clicks left, but yeah, cool. So we 2 for 1 the spin, which always feels good. So they win for 2 unscenes. Okay, so R&D's where the game's at. I'm gonna touch the ganked. It's the Makota, no surprise. We knew that. This charges the twinning, which is good. We'll end turn. All right. Front company's not real. They're saying we spent our last click, I think. Did they say that? They said then archives, so maybe they think on a later turn, maybe. I do have Civil War. The new protection stuff is cool. I haven't played with them until I get more sleeves. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a really good protection weapon that you can put in your Nightcrawler's tail. Shit, this is the turn where the Makota matters, right? Okay, so we have Devil Charm, this. So we can just... What do we do here? Maybe front company matters. I don't think it does. So this could be an agenda push easily. We need to run a central server. We need to trash a card to get access, but we can always just trash the Botulus. We don't really need the Fermenter money. I mean, it's okay to have, but we have so much money here that we really don't need it. Where's Audrey? I don't know. In the bottom 8 cards. Not even 8 because we buffer drived a bit. Like in the bottom 4. Audrey would be good because we've been trashing a fair bit, but we have access to no Audrey so far. Sorry, you can't see everything. It's alphabetical. Do we care if they score? They go so poor? Maybe. If they score a Proprio. I think here we just run R&D. If they res the bloop, they lose the game emotionally. And then we can charge server 1. Let's just see what happens. Let's just touch cards. We don't need to see 3 on twinning. We could. but no great installs here. It's 11 o'clock. We haven't done the news yet. Shit. This has been a slow game on both sides of the table, though. I'm not very fast at this. Babies are upsetty. These ones, yeah, we'll feed one of them. They're if they earn their keep, they'll get their keep. No res, great. It's unique. Which one? Stop it. C2 win. Charlotte, okay. One of them earned their keep. Hedge fund, okay. So now we want to force them to res. Server one is fine. We can always get the bosses off this wave. Like giving our opponent a credit doesn't seem super relevant. Oh, Devil Charm, yeah, it's super unique. There's only one devil, which is good. Imagine there's multiple devils. World would be worse. Duvel Charm. You wrote Duvel Charm and it's funny. 6 credits. What's the worst they can gank us? Oh, it's a white space. Generally kind of annoying. They have multiple white spaces in their deck. So I guess we Simulchip here for a chisel. I feel silly. Someone hasn't played Baldur's Gate 3? No, I haven't. I have not. Oh my god, I played Sorcery TCG this week, and the new set has some really good religious stuff in it. Like really good religious stuff. It's all gothic horror. We have to chisel this, yeah. The question is what we're trashing. I'm assuming we're trashing this botulus. There's a site that's called a Holy Ground, and the game text is "evil has no power here," and it's legal game text, and it makes me so happy. This will draw an Audrey. Oh, that's fine. Evil has no power here. We clicked the fermenter? No, we didn't. That was last turn. So ganked is not real. Makota is not real. Charlotte. Lacosta. Okay, yeah, where are the agendas? Sorcery's so cool. It is actually kind of really cool. We haven't charged the twinning. Top of R&D is hedge fund. HQ's unknown. No, Charlotte doesn't do anything. We don't have to click the fermenter. I don't want to actually use Lagu here. Like, do we just install the cookbook? I guess we do. We could price to hit the Audrey. That's actually pretty good. But it rips through our deck and it won't fire Paladin. I'm just going to do the weird play. Credit? I don't like that. Hoshiko, blank. Let Pally eat cookbook? No. Cookbook good. Feed cookbook. Charge twinning. Good. Oh, did we not charge the twinning? Why? See if you can Paladin the price on Bling. The price on Bling. Wait, what? How is Sorcery? I know what Team Covenant is on the game, honestly, looks strange. So Sorcery is like this really old school. They have all these like old fantasy artists from like old original Magic. The art is so good. But it is like a chessboard, like a 5x4 grid. Oh, Fencer. Yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. That was a bad install. You have this a grid and you play these. Okay, imagine you have a blank grid of no spaces and you have characters starting on either side, right? And then you have 2 decks. One deck is locations, one deck is your spells, which is like your creatures, your magic, your auras, all that sort of stuff. And so each turn, largely, you can play a location. So you open up one of these like board spaces and each location has different text on it, which is interesting. And then you basically build this space together. It's kind of like Ice to some extent, except your cards are all hosted on them. So eventually your 2 characters who start separated will have a land bridge so they can like walk up to each other. And it's cool. It has like a scaling mana system and it's really, really simple. Like the beta cards have 1 number for stats. Maddie and I played it. We actually really liked it as much as it is a TCG. We just bought the $40 starter decks. Had a great time. All right, Audrey's here. We used Fencer. Yeah, we did. Search the game. I only played Table Kitchen, mostly Jaff, but I think it's so unique. The design art is so point. Oh man, the new set, the art is so good. But like buying a box of that game is like $200. Like it doesn't make any sense. But hopefully people are having a good time. They drew a hedge fund. They played the hedge fund. Surely we fermenter now. I mean, I might not, but yeah, we probably do. We're going to Ashen in a moment. So I think we install Fermenter, we install Audrey. We have a Gourmand in the deck. Yeah, we probably do. We can run HQ for a single, no problem. They might have agendas because they have nowhere to jam them. Like, this is the server. Audrey. Okay. I think we run HQ for single, hopefully trash something. We're okay drawing with Hosh. No, not yet. Honestly, I wasn't going to, but now, like, we can trash anything. Fully break. If we hit a gank, we can just Audrey it. Oh, I was not meant to use all the twinning counters. We know most of the hand. It's a bloop into a white space. Oh, that's good. A microweb. Okay. Yeah, we shouldn't have used those counters there. That was a mistake. I mashed the button. So we can do the strike fun thing, which is fine because we haven't trashed a card. I think we just draw here and discard, which is okay. Oh, hold on. So we do this, we strike fund, we put it at the bottom, strike fund, done. Yeah, go remind to Ash and all the Simulchips back? Yes. I think we're still trying a chisel. I think this is the white space into the bloop. So we have to deal with that. The Ice R&D, so HQ might be clean 100%. I was going in there to trash a card. I did not meant to see 3 cards. That was a misclick. It was relatively obvious the way that they've been like just sending cards back into R&D. Time is called now, so we win on time, which is good. But like they do not have a server 1. They have no servers. They're on 7 credits. And we're just going to Ash it, and they're emotionally going to be a bit devastated. Evil has no power here. I think it is the funniest text I've seen on a card. They also did this new sorcery card, and it's also so charming. Sorcery writes rules in like a very kind of narrative heavy way, where it's like reading a sentence in English, but it doesn't sound like Netrunner's really good at making, you know, rules dense, rules complete sentences. They spend a lot of time, the rules team, making the game complete. And then sorcery is just like writes it as if it's narrative, and then their basic rule is vibes, except it hasn't been a problem from my understanding. But there's a lot of like vibes based, like a sentence will be missing a lot of clarification, and then in context it makes sense. And so far from when I read the cards, they've all made sense. But there's this really funny card because it's a bit of a punchline. It's like a demonic tutor of sorts. I don't know if that card does a magic, but it's a picture of the devil. It's this famous old art that I think got upused from an old fantasy artist. And it says like, look through your deck from a card, grab a card, and then pay some minor cost. And then there's small print underneath it that is actually rules text that says you have to do the contract, and the contract forces you to do one of 3 bad things unless you sacrifice like a coin, a goat, something else. Except it's all rules text, but it's formatted kind of like a punchline where you just read this and assume the rules text is flavor text. Sorry, you assume the smaller text is flavor text, but it is actually demonic binding contract, and which the original bigger rules text says you have to sign the contract, and the contract is, it's really funny. It's a very good punchline, and the card actually looks pretty good. So this could be Lacoste on a 4-2. We have Chisel and a Charm, so I think we just run. I think we run R&D and bounce, and then just chisel this. Demonic Tutor is the card tutoring it's named for. You know what it does? No, but I don't know the cost associated with it. I think it's like take 3 damage, search your deck. Vamp is Prison Runner, but the Corp has helped put the straitjacket on themselves. They haven't pushed the game fast enough. Yeah, I need to show you the card. It's so delightful. It got a really good laugh from me when I saw it, and it seems like a very playable card from whatever I know. Okay, thinking. So we want to deal with this. We could just fake. Why don't we just face tank it? Oh, because we have to run centrals first. Let's run R&D first. Then we'll just do chisel, run server 1. Run archives and bounce. I'd rather force a res here. I think this is a white space. We break it for 3 credits. If it's a microweb, we break it for 2 cards. And then they're out of money. Running archives and bounce is not bad though. It's a Samak. Okay. We'll chisel that eventually, but we can just bounce all that. Chisel server 1 and run R&D? Yeah. But we'll do it in the other order. You're right, we could have lost it to damage, but I don't think they're on anemone, and no damage would fire. This chisel might be overkill. The OG demonic tutor costs 2, search your deck for anything, no downside. Then why was it demonic? It just should be called tutor. I guess that's where the term comes from, right? But all right, we're in. Bite. It's a Rego. Yeah, that's dead. And a Lacosta. We should trash it, but we actually should leave it just so there's an Audrey counter on another turn when we need it. So I'm not going to trash it now. This card, we need a chisel. It's not sustainable. So that's not good for us. We have one more Simulchip in somewhere in the bottom. We charged a twinning. We've done everything. I think we just draw, discard the bling. Yeah, it's fine. Demonic is just one black for search your deck for a card. No bad text. Oh, wild. That's super, super wild. They're teaching you the spells from your deck. So evil. Ooh. The cards you chose. All games are the same. All right, so it's Samak into Bloop into Wave. They have a lot of scoring to do. They're on 19 cards they just drew. Next turn we can run HQ for free. Why discard? It doesn't matter. You're right, we could bottom it, but like, it doesn't matter. You're totally right, we could bottom this bling, but like in the context of the game, we click less. The art on sorcery is great. It's so good. The sorcery art is so damn good, and a lot of it is like reaching out to old fantasy authors from the 80s and 90s, and just like using old art that was on like paperbacks and stuff like that. And then a lot of it is like original artists or artists who were like the best, the most iconic art from like the 90s. Like the artist who did the Dan art is doing art. Like very cool. Wasn't there a sorcery card that let you reset the game? Like in Sorcery TCG? I don't know. I haven't seen that. There's some really powerful cards though. I think there's a location that like wipes the whole board if it gets trashed. And so like the whole place just becomes rubble, but people survive it. Game seems very vibey. Yeah, the game has like the silver rule and the gold rule. I think they swapped them legally somewhat recently in the last rules text. The silver rule is that the gold rule, I think, is right now is like if a card text goes against the rules text, the card text wins. That's in a lot of card games. The silver rule is be cool. And I think I'm like only 80% sure of this. I think they changed the gold and silver rule. So now the gold rule is be cool. The silver rule is card text overrides rules text. Which is just funny. Use the Simulchip here? Oh yeah, we should. I'm assuming we can chisel R&D and just let the server. So on their turn, we'll grab the chisel, we'll put it here, and we can just chisel. Cookbook, bling, get the botulus. That's sick. Cool. So this server is just a Lacosta. We don't care. We'll just chisel. We have to watch out. This is a bloop though. I guess we break it with Audrey. We have one more Simulchip in the deck, which is the next card. What if the card text tells you to be uncool? They won't print that. But technically, because the gold rule is in priority, you have to be cool. And then you lose to not being cool to the silver rule. We'll just chisel this down. I don't care. That order matters. Smack R&D for free and bounce? Yeah, I'm just going to bounce off of this. If there is a bloop, we'll just Audrey it. What if I'm not cool enough to play? You are cool enough to play. Like abstractly, as a person, if you're not cool enough to play, they'll teach you. It'll get you there. But you are cool enough to play. I'll vet you. If you go to a tournament and they say you're not cool, not that I'm the authority on it, but like you can call a friend. I mean, keep going, I guess. Hey, Evilon, how's it going? Got him. Okay, cool. We'll go here. If the bloop gets rezzed, we're fine. If it's a gank into the bloop, we'll be fine. We'll take a core damage. The Art of MTG Pillage by Richard Kane Ferguson pulled me into card games. I don't know a lot of the iconic old MTG art. Thanos, how's it going? But like, yeah, I've been really feeling this sorcery art. All right, so we could Devil Charm it. We won't. We don't have access to Chisel, so we're just gonna go ahead and do Audrey. So we have to trash 2 cards from our hand. So we'll hit the cards that don't matter, I guess. Twinning and Lagu. So we'll put the Lagu on the bottom. And then we'll break all of it. And now if they res this card here, they gain 2 credits, but it takes a card out of their deck that's not an agenda, which we value. We won't break this, but wave is totally fine for us. Literal cold lava, though. As long as you're under about 375 Kelvin, you're cool enough. Otherwise, might be a bad time to play. Have we charged the twinning yet? No, we haven't. Pro strats would be to Audrey with Ashen to protect it from damage. Oh, that is super pro strats. I like that a fair bit, Jai. That's a really good thing to keep in mind. Yeah, you put this on the bottom. It's the safest there anywhere because we could just take damage from this axis. I think that's very, very good to point out. They can get the credits they res this for. Mick, love to trash that. We have a Gourmand coming up. Mitra, okay, we charge the twinning. Okay, so now we have to chisel this. That'll be next turn's adventure. Hoshiko's drawing. What ice did they draw? Do we even pay attention? They got a Samasamoon. Okay, so our chisel is going to be a bit annoyed. I think we just draw. So it's Simulchip, Gourmand. Oh, there's a botchless on the bling. Oh, I forgot about that. That's bad. We should have installed this. Yeah, shit, I forgot this was here. Stupid bling. Ah, beans. Look up Sorcery TCG art. Reminds me of the art from Wizards. Trick taking, oh hell. Yeah, it's good. It's really cool. Yeah, the idea is that the Ashen gets lost to damage. We just buffer drive it back, but we don't have to if we put it on the bottom of our deck. Yeah, that was bad. That Nautilus. Yeah, we definitely wanted to keep that. Hedge Fund. Okay. That's the Sama. Or it could be the MIC. Importing an end the run Kogate into like Atea or into Jiteki in general makes a lot of sense to me. Man, this game has been going. Chisel the bloop? I mean, yeah. And then R&D does nothing. Okay, they pushed. So now we have to deal with this. Buffer drive installed. If you lose it to damage, you can bottom it anyways. Not that turn because we already used buffer drive. So if we access to Fuji or a bite or whatever, like we already used buffer drive, so we just lose the Ashen. So sort of, but not that turn. All right, if that's a Sama or the MIC, 15 minutes left in DSSS. I want to be very clear, like if our opponent plays slow, I play slow, it's totally fine. I'm not like trying to grief anyone for playing faster. I'm not playing fast. Could do an off turn. I don't want them to score out on top of the Lacosta because we still don't know what agendas they're playing. Like maybe they're on see how they run because they seem to love core damage. So we could charge this. Even if we just draw a pinhole and take out the Lacosta from underneath it, all pinholes are good. Now the remote is ideal. I don't know what this is, but this is either an MIC, which we don't care, or it's a other thing that we don't care. So I think we do Chisel, Simulchip, run R&D. Chisel the bloop, Simulchip. I think we just do Chisel, run R&D. C2. And then we can Simulchip, run the remote if we want to. We could give them wave. It might be fine to give them 2 credits on this board save. We know they have Microweb. Double Charm, yes, it's gone. Big Fish. Bloop was the sound it made when it disappeared. So here we could just give them 2 credits. I don't think the 2 credits matters. Oh, it's only 1 credit now. Never mind. Pop-up window. We'll see 3 cards. Might win the game. Yep. Strike Fund. We'll put the Strike Fund on the bottom, I guess. Simulchip's actually more important. Rego. Fencer She Eats. Lacosta. Not a good draw. Okay. So losing the Simulchip sucks because that's how we can contest this. But we have 3 Audrey counters. Samasamoon, we could like tank with damage. We die to like Mavirus in their moats over. I think we're okay here though. We could run HQ and see what ice they have there. If this is the MIC, we're fine. If it is the Sama, they just res it. With 3 cards, I think we can just run this. Ashen Time? Yeah, maybe it is just Ashen Time. But there's one more Simulchip 2 cards down, which I really want. Like maybe we just run server 1. If it's a Sama, I'm going to run it. I don't know if there's a way that we die here. We want to force them. If they res the MIC, we're really, really happy. If they res the Sama, we can decide from there. Don't think too hard. Install Charm for Bling? It won't fire. Bling only fires if it's 0 cost. If we install Devil Charm off Paladin, you'd still pay to credit, right? I wonder if we have to worry about Mitra and stuff. It's the Sama, okay. So their hand is MIC in it. The Smut, we can take 3 damage, then we can get through this. We could win. If this is a Bite, we die. If it's a Mavirus, we die. This card is annoying for us. I think we can let them score out an agenda. And then we just draw. I don't want to risk dying. All right, last card, Simulchip. We install the Simulchip. We use the Simulchip. Then we like Ashen or something. Yeah, if they just score out, that'll be their whole turn. If they do Fuji damage, we bottom the Ashen. Yeah, there's not a lot of big reasons to take a risk. If it's a Charlotte, they just break rock. They have 13 cards left in R&D, and we've seen 7 points. Sorry, 8 points. So looks like there's an agenda. So if it's a 5-3, it's just going to be their next turn anyways, and they'll have less credits. It's 11:30. Oof, we'll do news after this. How's everyone's evening been? There's a lot of news. I feel like I've been going to bed too late, and then like Fridays are really, ooh, the front company still not doing nothing. Finally, it's wait, the region is gone? Is this another La Costa? Sick. So that could be the MIC, which is a check they can't really cash. And top of R&D, we can see 2 cards. Cool. We drew our whole deck. If this goes through, if it's a 5-3, if it's a Sisyphus, we don't care. I don't think we care about the server. I think we just do Simulchip, Devil Charm, Audrey. Sorry, Simulchip, Devil Charm, Ashen. Unless we want to use these this turn. We can do Simulchip, Devil Charm. We could always run R&D for single. Do you feel better about Blink? I'm not loving it. It's okay. And I think the more that I think about it, the more I plan my turns around it, which I haven't been doing a good job. I think the write-up said like it's the best card for the slot, but it's not amazing. And I think that's where we're getting. It's like, it's cost us, but like just drawing through your deck at a speed is what you want in this matchup. It's fine. But I do think there's plays where we are internalizing it that'll make it feel better, which we're definitely not doing. 11:30 stuck up on me too. Yo, Sophie, how's it going? How is NPC Boston? I think we just do Simulchip or Devil Charm, run R&D, and then we Ashen if it's still there. We haven't won. We actually should have paid out of pocket because we're going to Hoshiko. The weekend, so it's time for me to F up my sleep schedule for a week because I can't go to bed when I could be doing fun things. I can't do during the week because I need sleep. Yep. Oh, you got tomorrow off? Yo, enjoy. Best card for the slot is not a good look when the deck is over slots. Yeah, but you need console. Like my shot was to play Keiko, but you don't need the MU, and like the credits don't matter that much. Good game. Hey, GG. Thanks for the game. I don't know what's cooking their remote server, but it's not a 5-3. Maybe it's a Sisyphus. I don't know why they were like, they were really into core damage. So maybe their game plan hinges on it. Yeah, it's a rough one for sure. Your little cheap ice is doing enough against it. Like the white spaces and some mucks are annoying. But yeah, Rising a bloop feels quite bad. Yeah, Ice Destruction, that's just going to be your enemy. For a lot of people, it's super polarizing to play like big ice to Ice Destruction. It gets trashed immediately. Like, I hear you. I think there is a world at some point in time where Devil Charm could get banned sooner than anything else, but I don't think we're there. Some folks are enjoying the microweb. Really good against Criminal. Even Shaper. But yeah, rough against the Decklist of the week. I imagine you might be finding. I love to see Devil Charm catch a ban. I think it's more frustrating than Bahar ever was because at least you could position your ice. Yeah, I agree. I think Ice Destruction, like Hippo being positional, allows you to play around it. There's no good way to play around Devil Charm. It is very frustrating. The NPC Boston was great. I was only 16 people, but a lot of strong players and great playing from QTM. Shout out to Laura and D. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, there's a really strong scene there. And nice people too, right? Thanks for the game. I've dropped Bloop in my latest version. Oh, right. Oh, that check. Oh, got it. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, the Bloop we had to play around. But with Ice Destruction, we just destroy it. I still think Banhart died for Companion Sins. I'll be honest, the more I think about the stealth cards that have been spoiled from Vantage Point, the more I am like upset about this. I don't know. I just really don't like companions. Getting a credit a turn for a card you install for one, that's on the table since turn one. Like, yeah, it feels sometimes like they have downsides and you have to play around them, but like it doesn't feel anarchic. It is so boring. It is so siege overwhelming the way that Rizeki is, but these don't catch a ban. And I know that in the future, if any of the stealth stuff is even halfway decent, it's going to be Keiko Taka everywhere. And then we might as well play the other companions. Man, I would be so happy if Ashes was gone just to get rid of these so they could reset the fundamentals of what Anarch economy looks like. I detest the companions. Turns out 6+ Rizekis in a set was not the move. Yeah, I know. And then we're stuck with these forever. Like, imagine playing an Anarch deck and not playing like the full, like not the full companion package, but like a part of the companion package. Because why wouldn't you? And then Anarch now seems to be like defined by these 1 credit per turn econ cards that you install and click 1. I really don't care for it. I'm also anti-companion, speak your truth. Like, they've been around for so long and they're going to be around for so much longer. 1 credit per turn cards. I don't know. Ashes Scream is peak and Ashes Anarch is so miserable. I wouldn't say it's miserable, but it's like, buckle up for more twinning next year, you know? Startup and core should be then your go-to format. Oh, no. I don't want fewer cards. I just want a couple fewer cards. The more I think about it, the less I like the Ashes cycle overall, especially with how good the Borealis cycle. I just don't get it. So, Lepar, firstly, hopefully your shoulder's doing better, huh? It is very much worth knowing when there's like criticisms against Ashes. Ashes was the first cycle to come out from NSG. They were called Nisei back in the day, and they needed to put out a cycle relatively quickly. They also needed to put out a cycle that was relatively safe. So when you see things like keywords coming in the Borealis cycle, that was when NSG was a bit more confident. They had more structures in it, and so that set feels different. There is a very big vibe difference in terms of play patterns of modern NSG and Ashes NSG, just because it is the oldest and the first thing that they put out. That is why it is that way if you think there's a difference. That's also why the art is very different, because it was just back in the day. But yeah, if you ever feel vibe difference, right now standard is like mixing the vibe difference of Ashes with modern. If I could get rid of Ashes, I'd be relatively happy with it. Yeah, they were figuring it out. 1 credit per turn econ card. It seemed like that was a safe place to be. Yo, Elisar, how's it going? I'm late. How you doing? Second place at World's Essa had 1 Puemo. Not sure about the companions and other top decks. A lot of the dolls Hoshes I think have a fair bit, but it's like they're gonna be around forever. They're also like one of the key econ parts in like criminal decks too. Like, why wouldn't they show up everywhere? Borealis cycle's only good after the top 5% of cards got deleted. 10% is closer. Yeah, but they shot a really ambitious shot. I don't mind when cards get banned. I really don't care if cards get banned as long as they're banned quick enough. They're cool. At least Fermentor's some interesting counterplay with purging. Yeah, like exactly. Fermentor is risky. There's counterplay. It's cool. If the companions were like had a smaller threshold, maybe they'd be more interesting. Like there's ways to make that card idea, like something that you have to take care of and feed, right? Like your Tamagotchi gets angry or whatever. But yeah, right now I don't like it. Mystic feels fine. Feels good in Crim. I mean, but yeah, but I don't know. I want cards to be more interesting than those. All right, let's do some. Okay, R+ is gone, and so his touch-ups Drago can come home to Papa. There's a chance, but I'd be very surprised. Hopefully my partner gave you sufficient altars. A lot, a fair bit. Feel high variance too, whenever you see a turn 1 and turn 6. Yeah, that is one of the worst things. But like the feeling when you play against Hoshiko and then Hoshiko drops 2 companions on turn 1, it's just like, okay. Great. Anyways, let's do some news stuff really quickly. So I'm not gonna have anything too smart to say about this. Start a balance update. That's the big one. I think we're going to talk about this play season thing really quickly because it is a bit interesting. My favorite, not surprising, Borealis is one of my favorite sets. It is one of my favorite sets too. Borealis is sick. Your digital pet getting angry still doesn't feel anarch at all to me. Yeah, I know. I hear you, but it's like the best we can do is add a bit of disruption to the card. Still remember way back when Ashes first came out, you had all 4 companions and got hit by game over. I mean, that didn't happen super consistently. Where can I find the Vantage Point spoilers, by the way? I don't think they're posted anywhere super concretely. I linked them in the YouTube comments of the stream I did after Worlds, which hopefully has an obvious name, which stream it was like 2 or 3 streams ago. But they were posted on like an Imager link on Reddit. NSG hasn't posted them officially. I don't think they're in the content creator hub yet, so it's hard to find better photos of them. They were just on Reddit. I'm assuming they're still there. I'm a puppy waiting for food with the post. Startup is a wild format. I don't understand how it's going to handle getting even smaller. Well, it's going to get even smaller. That's the point. When rotation happens early next year, hopefully. But startup balance update from Lucille L. Blumeyer. 2 cards got banned up in startup. I've played very little startup this year, but it's just interesting to see what startup's up to. Startup has some ban lists that have looked really strange to standard players. And then funny enough, standard mimics some of those bans later. But right now the startup balance update is banning out Coalescence and Estebrado. What I've heard from a distance, and the article does say this, is that Shaper is really, really, really strong. It seems like Shaper has a lot of econ cards and a lot of like just ways to push themselves forward that might be a bit more restricted when it comes to other factions. And Coalescence seems like a really heavy ban because so much is Shaper right now, and I'm probably going to do a bad job internalizing what cards are in startup and are not in startup, which is a fair bit smaller format than standard, but not that much smaller considering standard's the smallest it's been in a decade. Coalescence is really, really important. You don't have a Simulchip in the format, but you have Muse. But this is the card that you can install and reinstall. There's no environmental testing in the format, so that's a bit different. There's no spec work in the format. But the big one that you now have is Knickknack, and that seems really good. Knickknack is only as good as the cards you can Knickknack, and we don't have like the Ashes Shaper Breakers. So I'm assuming Coalescence is like relatively load bearing. I don't know what Shaper decks do at that point. You still have like Trick Shot, and you probably have some good enough events. You have Telework. But Knickknack seems like it's going to be a fair bit harder to play. Whether we're at the point where you're playing Rising Tide and all the Principias, that's my guess. But Coalescence is like a very strong econ card across all of standard with even a bigger card pool. I can imagine it's maybe more important in the startup, but again, startup also doesn't have a lot of the cards that support Coalescence. KKDZ MZ Madani Mag would just install it like 7 times. You would just like Muse for it every time? No, my Shaper bullshit econ. I understand it, but the oh no, the bypass ID is bypassing too much, maybe giggle. I mean, I'm so happy about this. It made me really, really happy. This is interesting. Hopefully, like, I don't know if, yeah, I guess I'm usually an okay fan of that, to be like, one faction is overperforming, we have to bring them down. The other thing that got banned out is Estebrado, and honestly, if this happened in standard, I would be celebrating to some extent. I hate Estebrado. I really don't like this card. I can't stand this card personally. It's not a card that sees a lot of play in standard unless you're playing exactly against Mercury. As much as I think this was a cromulent tech card if you're expecting an LEO field, because this is one of the ways to just be like, I'm getting in. What's really funny is that it's a lot of different testing teams together came up with the idea of playing Iru, whether it's in Anarch or in Criminal, even in Shaper at Worlds. It was really true because just getting that one big access is really important against LEO and let alone other decks. And it seems like Iru was a better way to do it than playing Estebrado. But I could see Estebrado making some sense as a one-up in some Criminal lists. I don't know. I honestly, I love Mercury, the character. Mercury's sick. But having an ID that's all about bypassing and not making your ice matter, I don't know how people are excited about that. I've been saying this when Mercury came out. Your ice not mattering is not fun, Netrunner, and building an entire ID around it, I could see it being a problem. And it just seems like in startup, it is a problem. Without 3 Estebrados, Mercury seems to be a lot worse, is my guess. I know in startup where field felt a bit slower, I was getting blown out constantly by like people on turn 1 or turn 2 dropping a Docklands pass and then hitting me with a maintenance axis. And you're still going to have to play around that, whether it's Mercury or Josiah. Those are all very good lines. But now you're going to have to work a bit harder. You're going to get those Hermes triggers. You're going to have to play your Melandra gems. I don't know what else you do in the format, I'll be honest. But just the card that says, I'm going to see cards no matter what. I don't care what your ice is. I'm glad that's not in the game. I don't know. I don't like this. Of course, I'm not going to like this. HQ, the inside job that gets 2 ice sometimes only on centrals is like so cursed to me. And I'm glad startup is like, nah, it doesn't work. We're not doing that anymore. So that's awesome. Considerations, why not Trick Shot? That's cool. It's cool that Trick Shot makes sense in this format. It is a really fun card if you haven't played this. It works. There's some like weird interactions with Trick Shot with like bad publicity and some other stuff, which I guess bad publicity now in the format? I don't think so. Maybe. I don't think so. I feel like it is, but I'm not sure why. Why does Estebrado feel so much worse than Inside Job? That threat text doesn't do much. Well, because Inside Job has existed in Netrunner for such a long time, and it was just an idea that when you're playing against Criminal, they can always get past 1 ice. Shout out to the original core set Inside Job art, which is on a toilet. It's amazing. That was just the thing. They could always bypass 1 ice, and so you had to play around it. But then Inside Job was used as this tactical thing to force like good ice placement. It was to force out money so that if they were defending central servers from account siphon, they couldn't res their 2 ice on the remote server. Criminal bypassing 1 ice was just the thing that they did for such a long time. And inside job was now being played to run the remote server, where the card in the remote server was ideally valuable. So whether it was the first agenda push, the important Adonis campaign, right? All these sort of things were like where inside job really came in, and it was up to you to make the remote server intriguing or have a defensive upgrade or do any of the sort of fun stuff. All that comes out the window where Estebrado just says send centrals and just like roll the die, right? Like now we've gone from tactical like econ piece that you can use to like interact with the game, you know, the part of the game that the corporation's pushing forward, just to like slapshot on HQ. The corporation can't do anything against it. I would like tease newer players who were really happy to like inside job HQ, because I'd be like, oh, that is a tool that you could have used to like pull apart the remote server that carried the econ card or the first agenda that PD would fire. Like that was the joke, inside job centrals, because at the end of the day, it is just slot machine for the sake of slot machine. And sure, there are board states where you can tell the corporation is flooded because the way the game is going, and then inside job HQ makes some amount of sense. But it went from like a tactical pressure piece that like made the remote server to this, which is just like, I'm going to see 3 cards with the twitting. You can't do anything about it. And one of them sits a lot worse than the other. Boomerang really changed the inside job game. Yeah, well, Boomerang, I don't think it changed the game so much because Boomerang is a fair bit slower and you have to commit to a single piece of ice. But Boomerang, when it came out, felt kind of offensive. People thought Boomerang was a bit overpowered. But Boomerang falls into the same camp of inside job, where Criminal is good at like bypassing or dealing with a single piece of ice without a breaker. That is meant to be alive and well in their card pool. Bypass is fun though, just not for the corp side. Yeah, I don't know. Ice should have text that matters. Trick to Brado, run a central, bypass the first ice, then run a remote. If the central run was successful, bypass the first ice. And need to give credits on extra access. That's just about it. Is Criminal bypass winning a lot? I'm assuming in startup it is. Or even if it's not, and I don't think you need to make balance changes based off of what's winning. If this feels like ass to play against, then like it doesn't matter if it only wins 40% of the time. Like just don't have it be a thing. I don't know. I don't know. Inside job was felt kind of bad when you were rushing a PD, but yeah. Without SMC trick shots, also a fair bit worse. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, if it's harder to use the credits, my guess is like Arasana is doing really good because you can do good with trick shot. Trick shot Zaya is probably a thing in the format, I'm guessing. Mostly hot, probably. Startup Mercury was miserable. Like y'all have not experienced the pain of 4 ice R&D not mattering. Good, cool. Yeah, I don't know. Having an ID built around your ice does not matter. I don't know how that was going to land well, but apparently people like Mercury, so always have a backup plan. You can play that, but that card has costs attached to it. You're right though. It's another card in the camp of like, there's so many cards like this, right? Of cards that criminals had to be able to deal with 1 ice on the server. Like we had spearfishing, which is reverse inside job. We still always have a backup plan, which this was played against me somewhat recently. Except this one has implications of the ice has to actually fire, which is kind of cool. But criminals always had cards like this. Estebrado just says only centrals, which is like just so much less interesting. So much more like, I really hope Hermes doesn't win the game. Really hope Hermes doesn't win the game. Okay. This thing is just worth shouting out. I'm not super upset about this, but I find it to be weird. So now there is a limitation to how much prize event restrictions. Where is this? Where does it say it? Did they change it? Is it still here? Yeah, this. We are limiting district and megacity championship prizing that goes beyond the NSG kit. We love the variety of excellent arts that the TOs commissioned this year, but we do not want to force every TO to feel like they have to put in a level of extra work to draw players to their events. I would like to say for Continentals this year, we commissioned 3 different alt arts. Was it expensive? Yeah. Was it fun? Yeah. Did people come to the event because of those prizes? Maybe not. Maybe not. But at the end of the day, it is not sustainable. And I see that a lot of players might think, oh, I'm organizing an event. I have to compete with X, Y, and Z. Zed. Don't say Z. So why, like, that feels bad. I get the intention behind this. Enabling TOs to run these events without spending more time, money, and effort is important for us to help to grow the pool of TOs. Therefore, for 2026, we are asking district and megacity championships to limit themselves to a maximum of 1 exclusive participation prize per event. Never seen this before for any game, I don't think, saying that we have to limit the stuff that you're giving out to people who are showing up. I understand the intention behind this. I don't know what the read is from the community. This is new. We've never seen this before. It says an event may also have a unique prize for the top placing player and 1 regional prize that can be obtained from other events. These sort of prizes were relatively common. So like in NPC events, give out an NPC participation prize. Things like the UK regionals, they usually have regional prizing. So if you go to multiple events, you get the same card. Yeah, this is really, really strange. I do think this in some ways will help. I'm thinking like this, I don't know. This is only for districts and megacities, so not even for continentals. I don't know about this. We'll see how this lines up, but this year it's going to be a bit different. I do want to be very clear. I think Axie said this on stream a long time ago on a podcast that like there's a big chance that the money, I agree with this, at least for the event that I've run, that maybe the money that went into some of those cards could be spent on like having some sort of social space and organizing a place that people can go to play, like to hang out and be social. Like maybe it could be better allocated for a way that serves more people. I could hear that. On the other hand, like supporting artists and like making a cool thing is really fun, but like, yeah, I do think we were at a part where I feel like every event that I was running had to have better prize support than the event prior. And I do think that was going to be unsustainable very soon, if not already. So maybe that's a breath of relief that we don't have to worry about that going forward. But it feels like around here, like Toronto specifically also has like a killer, an absurd amount of prize support for their events. Like every year they're doing more than the year prior. And again, at some point, you can't keep doing that. And now it seems like it's enforced to some extent of enforced. It's interesting. This is really, really interesting for sure. This seems reasonable. I don't know how many more megacity events than last year is probably a good thing. It means there are more districts and megacity events than last year. I'm assuming Shenros, how's it going? That there will be more events last year. There's almost always more events than the year prior. Yo, Stride, how's it going? I felt more complicated about this originally, but I realized I felt pressure to get custom prizes for CTKs. I've ran in the past, and that's rough to keep asking other TOs to keep doing it. Yes, I agree. I get this. I do get this. For people that have stuff planned, like I don't know, it's mixed. I think what you're gonna see is people are just gonna run more events and like spread them out. But it is an awkward situation. If you're somebody who is like worried about running an event and not having the prize support for it, that lets the burden off. I do think I'm gonna say one thing though, is like I'm only cool with this if the prizing for events there's more of it. Because for instance, when we were running certain events, I don't know which ones, but I remember getting prize support from NSG and we would not have prize support for everybody. I don't know if it was districts or continentals. I'm not sure it was. I think continentals pricing was really, really good from NSG, but I think maybe for districts, we were at a point where we thought we would have more players than participation prizes. And so then we are incentivized to make a prize to give to people because we hate the idea of people leaving an event without something. So NSG, if you're hearing this, I'm okay with this. Not that my opinion matters that much, but do please make sure that there's enough stuff for sizes of events, just so that we don't feel like we have to commission stuff. So people are leaving without getting anything, you know? I mean, some people might not be do the prize, but I've legitimately never been to an event for the prize. Or was the ID? Sorry? Oh, never been to event for the prize. Does having less tournament increase attendance at those tournaments than any? Genuine question. We have no data for that. It's really hard to get data for that because there's only so many events and then there's so many external factors. Modernly, politics are coming up a fair bit. But otherwise, it's like, do you go to Continentals because it is within the 6 hours? Yeah, you probably go to Continentals if you're like, you know, really engaged. But I don't think I've heard people not go to events because they're like, oh, the prize support's not great. Like, I haven't cared about some of the NSG prize support kits, and I still go to districts. I still go to megacities, right? Like, you go because of other reasons. So at the end of the day, yeah, I don't think this is going to detract attendance at all. We should also limit NSG from banning sick altars that people want to play because they got them at a cool event in Canada. Yeah. But if we made less of them, like imagine we made one altar and it was the Sting that got banned. Oh, I'd be so upset. 100% sure. Having Pit and NYC and online megas was parasitic, for example. I do think scheduling events that are like, they need to be further apart, which is hard because now the schedule is like within, you know, 2 months, you have to do all the districts or whatever. And so like, it's really hard to pad things out hard enough. This was the first competitive season, and being able to drive to a district and megacity event here in Texas meant I could participate. If we were still doing East and West Coast Nats, I don't think I'd have been able to go. Oh yeah, that stuff is defined by null signal games for whatever it's worth, but for what it's worth. But I think they've been doing a better job at allocating those, especially this year when now everything's allocated all at once. So Conts, megacities, districts will all be done at the same time, so it'll be spread out more evenly. I had the opposite experience with districts. Our turnout was abysmal, and I'm still giving new player district spin doctorate at events. Well, that's a good problem to have. There were a number of people worried about districts. The number of events that actually went over 25 players was well below the projections that folks worried about. Yeah, I think for our districts also was less than we thought it would be. But it was a weird point in time too, because it was before the new set. And a lot of people were like just chilling and waiting for the new set. But I do think it was a real concern in some places that happened. I know I emailed NSG about it. I've heard people say they didn't go to a particular megas because there were so many others for them. Yep, that will happen. Laura, come to Emin. Okay, but any event has a Dewi alt art as a prize. I will be there. That's a hard one too, because you have to commission 2 arts. That's way harder. Uh, cool. It's midnight. I think the only other thing I wanted to shout out, well, there's 2 things. Firstly, if you haven't watched Project Gunslinger, the first week is up. We talked about this last week, but it is an event where the tiebreakers are playing against the Chinese Netrunner community. So there's 2 rounds of double-sided switch. I'm not going to spoil the outcome, but it's up here. It'll be linked in X if you want to watch some international Netrunner. Shout out to the Chinese Netrunner community, which I met, I don't think, any Chinese Netrunner players. I'm imagining traveling is pretty difficult. The internet's obviously different there, but they're playing on JNet and they're doing a good job. You can watch it. This will continue. I'm not sure if it's every weekend, but it's very, very, very cool. So check that out. And there's also podcasts if you're not watching the King's Court or listening. Content creator arc is peak. I was going to make this really good joke about how in Finnish, the issue is when you look up the word card shark, it translates to guy who eats cards. And I think that's what started Axu's problem. 7K pulled aggro from 1.4 billion people. And now we're playing the price. Next set is this weekend. Wait, what? Is the Arkham channel not happening anymore? MJC, how's it going? I wouldn't say not happening. So I think it's more likely what's going to happen is that I will, and it takes me time to build it, but we'll be doing some tabletop Arkham on this table, probably on the crash space to test it out. And then eventually we'll get Velma's Diner. Velma's Diner is a place to do like well edited, focused stuff on Tabletop Simulator. Has been less exciting for me. I'll be honest. Arkham has been a bit less exciting for me recently. I guess we should talk about some Arkham. I finished the Drowned City campaign and like, I don't know. I don't think I like the campaign that much. So it might just be quiet for a bit until new core set comes out, and then maybe that's exciting. A great time to jump on. But it's been hard to do everything all at once. I've been doing Marvel Champion stuff. That's been a ton of fun. Obviously, Netrunner stuff is great as well. I might get into Arkham to a Chapter 2 core set. I'd recommend it. I think it's probably a great time to jump in, as much as we haven't seen the core set. We should talk about this really quickly. I'm starting Drowned City next week. Let me know what you think about it. I think to some extent, like Arkham is like pizza. Even the stuff that's okay is still good pizza. But yeah, Drowned City is definitely not my favorite campaign. Next set is this weekend? Oh, the next set of the matchups. Are you playing this weekend, Jay? Someone post the Axu Eater emoji. I guess we're gonna say this really quickly. If you're not an Arkham player, you might be able to duck out here. What does everyone think about the core set? I found the reaction to this. Oh, this is not right at all. So they announced a new core set for Arkham. Mind you, the original core set came out 10 years ago at this point, as much as the revised one is slightly different. And this was their big revelation, their big reveal on Halloween last Friday, after they had this, like, a lot of these ARG games where they're pointing like puzzle pieces. And so people had to piece it together. And it turns out it was this cover art. And then this cover art, the reveal is that it is a new core set as opposed to a new scenario or a new campaign or anything else like that. It seemed like the reaction that I was watching was like not incredibly jazzed about it. I think that the way that they communicated and maybe managed expectations probably wasn't the best way to do it. I think overall this is pretty good for the game and is exciting, but I do think that the way the place that they advertised this content to was people who are already like really deep into the game and they were expecting a new cycle. Where this is like, I'm assuming this appeals more to a casual audience. And when you have the most hardcore that are doing like an ARG with puzzle pieces and all this sort of stuff, and then they find out it's a core set, it's like, I don't know, probably a bit mixed. Do you not stream on Tuesdays anymore? No, Ellie, I don't. Back in the day, I was doing content full time. For the last couple of months, I'm working full time, just like 9 to 5, doing office stuff or in an office. So I just can't stream Tuesday afternoons. I miss the hell out of it. I really do. But yeah, no, it's streaming has to go around work. It's confused. It looks cool. The Night of Zealots sucks, so hopefully we'll have a good introductory campaign. Yeah, there's something really cool to be said about redoing the core set with 10 years wiser. The original Arkham core set has some problems. Again, all that stuff was designed before it was released to anybody, and a lot of the core set shows its age. The campaign, the 3-part campaign, the first 2 parts are really good. The third part sucks. Like, I would not recommend playing the campaign more than once, but there's a lot of Arkham or a lot of FFG core sets actually have really good campaigns. Like the Marvel Champions campaign is just fantastic. I'd recommend playing it all the time. So having the ability to redo the campaign is really cool. The one thing they opened up on the stream was that there's new Mythos cards, and that was a bit of a mixed bag too, because the Mythos cards, for those who don't know, the encounter sets, when you buy the core set, and mind you, this structure is like not great. I don't think it has to exist like this anymore. It's really frustrating when it comes to Arkham Horror, or sorry, the Marvel Champions. But there's these like sets of cards that have like strong themes, like rats or frozen, and what is the one? Cold something crypt chill, I just call it, the striking fear, the night gaunts. These are all like sets of encounter cards, and when you're setting up a scenario, it'll tell you like, go grab the rat set from the core set, go grab locked doors from the core set, and then you end up reusing these same encounter sets throughout every campaign you play. Certain campaigns will lean on some more than the others, but the idea is that you can't play any external campaign without owning the core set for a couple reasons, but one of the big reasons is you don't have the encounter cards, those Mythos cards. And now they're redoing those sets, so we'll see like rats 2, it's now called vermin, or we'll see like just locked doors instead. I don't know, the door is broken in another fundamental way. Test your physical. But it's cool to see what they're going to redo. Like, how do they do ancient evils 10 years wiser? That's fascinating. But I think that was the first thing they mentioned when they said the box on the stream. And then people got annoyed because if they want to buy the new campaigns and play the new campaigns, if they're not interested in the new core set, they have to shell out what I think is actually really expensive now. It's like $75 US just to get these cards, because the new campaigns require you to have them. So your old core set doesn't work anymore. Chilling cold. Thank you. Someone who wanted to get into Arkham, but here the old core set is butts. The new core set intrigues me. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great way to jump into the game. I'm assuming the new core set will be the much better product. I don't remember how Night of the Zealot ends, besides we had to sacrifice several players to win. Yeah, the ending is really bad. Kato, how's it going? Crypt Chill's a card. Yeah, Crypt Chill's a card. It's a 4 willpower test, this current asset. I just always call it, we call it Crypt Chilly. It's the thing. Not expecting a complete reversal of release model, but I missed the community engagement and positivity from having more than one product a year. Yeah, they said that they'll have 4 products a year. What a product is kind of a bit vague. It could be anything. Sounds like a lot of people are scrambling to buy products for Arkham and Marvel before they go out of print. It's too late. This is one of the big problems too, is that I think the revised core set is out of print. This will now just be the core set. But so much of this year of FFGs is struggling with the fact that they have, 10 years of content that they can't continually reprint and put on shelves because distribution is harder than it's ever been. For stores, having shelf space for 10 years of Marvel Champions or 10 years of Arkham doesn't make a lot of sense. So they've just been putting things out of print. So there's a lot of content for this game that is phenomenal. And I do think actually some of the best content for Arkham Horror is some of the oldest content that was suddenly in the last year or so out of print, and not with even an announcement that it was going out of print. And then people get frustrated because when you sell them the idea of an LCG, it's meant to be different than a CCG. You're meant to have everything if you want to have everything for not too much of a cost comparative to hunting down singles and cracking boxes and all that nonsense. And then people are frustrated because there's things like campaigns like Path of Carcosa, Forgotten Age. These are some of the best campaigns they've ever made. And a modern Arkham player getting into the core set next year will never play them because they won't reprint them, which seems frustrating because the work is done. They've packaged it. They have all the cards. They've done all the work and the testing, but they just can't get it to you. In Marvel Champions, it's even a bit stronger in some ways because when people play that game, they want to play their favorite superheroes. I want to be Captain America or the Hulk or Hawkeye. I'm kidding. But they can't get those because those cards have been out of print for a long time now. You can't get them. And that game also has a bit of a licensing issue. So sometimes they're just not able to reprint stuff. But it's like this weird intersection where people now have to come to terms with you're not going to have everything unless you go to the aftermarket. And now it gets even weirder because, in theory, some of the modern campaigns have come out in the last year or so require Mythos cards from the core set, which is now out of print as of a week ago. But there'll be ways to errata it. I don't know. It's a mess. It's a mess, but there's no good way to fix it. You can't assume that the company is going to make sense for them to constantly print everything in their catalog for the last 10 years. They just can't do it. The printers have to print other stuff, let alone distribution is expensive. And that stuff doesn't sell that well. We're the engaged people on a live stream on YouTube talking about this sort of stuff, but the majority of people that play Arkham buy a core set, maybe they buy one campaign. They don't know what Carcosa is. They're never going to touch that. And so it's very hard. People want print on demand. Some other companies have been doing that. I think modernly, what's it called? Ashes is now doing print on demand for old content, but that's really difficult. I don't know. I spent far too much on getting return twos, Night of Zealot, Dunwich, and Carcosa. Yeah, I hear you. That stuff's good. But it's all this sort of stuff is out of print. And then a lot of the stuff they announced like relatively recently out of nowhere. And some of the stuff they didn't even announce. You just went onto their website and they updated to be like, all this stuff is out of print. And then people are like, shit. And they're scrambling and they're like, well, I'll never have a full collection. And that emotionally is devastating because we're all broken humans. Like it's weird. Annoying part is they announced a current format, which feels like 6 months ago, and they still don't know what that entails. So they can't even use the current format cards. They don't know. They have no idea what it holds. I thought it was really funny during their stream. They were asked a question about like, what are we going to do about this Mythos card situation? And their response was, we don't know right now. And like, I appreciate that response. It's better than no response, but like a lot of this is decisions from on high. It's just going to be ugly for a bit. But as long as you don't care about owning everything, like it should be easier than ever to get into Arkham next year. People are expecting Marvel to get a new core set too. That game's really good. As long as you like heroes to some extent. I don't know. It's weird. We'll see more of the core set. We've seen some cards so far. It's a mixture of reprints and new prints. So far, the cards have looked really simple. I do not know how Bodyguard got printed. This card looks awful. I also don't know in what world they decide to have this card as a card to spoil and a spoiler. A blank 2/2 with flavor text. Like, I don't get it. Like, Guardian could be redone, and this is what we're printing, and we're printing Bodyguard. Oh, it's so annoying. And then they have this thing about reward cards that don't make sense. There's a lot of feedback about how some of the characters look too modern. And I get that. We've seen some of the art also not looking great. This cat is really good, though. Yeah, it seems all over the place, and they're redoing some old investigators, which is only a bit confusing. I think they can save a lot of money on art. Maybe that's why they do it. Did we really need Joe Diamond again? I don't understand that fully. Izzy's here, which is kind of cool. Thank God these guys don't own Netrunner right now. I mean, yeah, but we've been saying that for a long time. What you're saying is FFG management is a hot mess as always. I wouldn't say that. I would say Asmodee is probably a mess. I think FFG is trying to do the best with what they have. I think the situation they're in now is so different than it was 10 years ago, and they're just trying to do the best they can. I'm like, they're not choosing to do a bad job. Of course they're not, but they have a lot of different problems right now, and they're trying to do like printing and shipping cards. Like it's a nightmare right now. So they're doing their best. But yeah, this will drop next year. We don't know what the next thing is after that. I wish we got a teaser for that, but yeah, this is a new core set. If you're trying to get into Arkham, it should be a really easy time as of next year. Anyways, that's that. Thanks for joining Arkham Talk. Do you want to talk about the new Marvel Champions character, Hercules? Let me just show you one card. Don't hang up. Hold on. I just need to show you this card. It's really important. Where is it? Holy shit. Now they're cooking. Yeah. I think this shows up in a meme or something, but man, this art makes me so happy. I can't wait to put this on. Did you know Hercules is a Marvel hero that was an Avenger? What a world. No idea what's going on here. This is great. This is really good. I'm excited about it, I'll be honest, but that face is good. I think that's mostly it. Marvel Champions is still hype. Yeah, it's still pretty good. I mean, I'll see Civil War when it shows up. I think stuff is showing up in Canada tomorrow. I'm here about the card. All the card game Andre talks about. Hey, Justin. It's been some good card games out there. It's been really good. That's mostly it. Hey, I redid this just like today, which is good. Is that the cool story bro meme? I think it is, Cato. Speaking of Cato, shout out to all these names here and more. I've just updated this. I want to say a couple things. Firstly, if you've been supporting the Métropole Grid, or you're thinking of supporting the Métropole Grid, it's incredibly appreciated. It allows all this sort of stuff to happen. It's Friday morning. We're still streaming. Like, this would not happen the way without all these names here and our daily cast patrons. If you want to support the channel, you can find a link below. Any amount of contribution is incredibly appreciated. If you just want to leave a like on the video, that helps a heck of a lot. But I want to say a couple things. Firstly, if you see your name here and I've messed it up in any way, please let me know. I think I did a thorough job today fixing it and updating it. If you have your name here and you want a little icon next to your name, like some people do, you can have a little like splash thing there. Just hit me up and I'll put it in there. It's really easy. It's good fun. But shout out to all the patrons that I think I failed to update this for a couple months. So there's a bunch of newer names. And again, I really appreciate it. This is a nice way to say thank you. And of course, huge shout out to all our Daily Cast patrons as well. Hey, that's me. Yeah. That's mostly it. But again, if you have your name there and you want something next to it, or I messed it up, just let me know because I'm trying to make that good. It's a bit tricky. Can I put my dragon next to my name? Yeah, totally. Just send me the dragon. I just have to cut it out and then I'll put it on. It's not hard. That's mostly it. We'll be back. Mind you, not this weekend, but next weekend is the big showdown thing, the showdown of showdowns. We'll be streaming that on the weekend. It'll be on the 15th on Saturday, but otherwise we'll be back on Thursday. If you want to catch some other card games, we're usually Sunday evening now, I think, playing some Marvel Champions on the Crash Base. That's mostly it. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next one. Ciao.